Saturday night's main event is back. What's going on, guys? It's almost showtime. 5 minutes until Saturday night's main event kicks off on NBC. I am actually currently working on getting my NBC pulled up here on my DirecTV app so I can be watching this live when it hits, finishing up nightly news with Lester Holt. And then it is time to rock and roll. Man, I don't know how they're going to fit all this shit into 2 hours. They added a fifth match this week, Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn. CM Punk is rumored to be on the show. Charlotte Flair is rumored to be on the show. And there is at least one title change planned for tonight. I guess not title change, but one new champion to be crowned. Hopefully that will be Chelsea Green, because later on, when we switch over to our podcast, as you can see, she's already holding the United States Championship. So hopefully she will win tonight. If not, I will have to put Meechan's head over hers. Also, there are some rumors of either Cody, Gunther, or Liv Morgan dropping their championships tonight. I know who I want it to be. I want it to be Cody dropping his title and Owens winning. Although on the go-home show last night, Owens touched the title and stood over Cody. That's usually a guaranteed loss. But still, rumors of Gunther maybe dropping the title. He isn't a triple threat now, so he's protected if they want to take the belt off of him. Or we could see Iyo Sky beat Liv Morgan and WWE book Rhea and Iyo at WrestleMania for the championship. And then Rhea and Liv can finish up their feud. You know, I pitched a Hell in a Cell match on January 6th Raw to maybe wrap up their feud. So Iyo could win the title. Owens could win the title. Balor or Priest could win the title. We don't know, but I'm hoping for a lot of surprises and certainly a show that's not going to be phoned in like the previous versions of SNME were when they brought this back, what, 2008 or 2009, whenever that was. None of those shows I even count as Saturday night's main events. This one looks like it's going to be the real deal. Jesse the Body Ventura is there, hopefully to do commentary. Maybe not for the whole show, but hopefully the main event or something. Otherwise, you know, maybe backstage he could be doing some stuff. Expecting those sparkly curtain interviews, those pre-match interviews to happen tonight. Now that Mean Gene is gone, I vote Kathy Kelly. That's what I said on Twitter, and she agreed. So we'll see if she's the one doing those tonight. Otherwise, Jesse could be penciled in for something like that as well. Hoping for a lot of old school stuff, hoping for a lot of throwbacks and a lot of nostalgia, especially with the opening of the show and the pre-show little 30-second promos that each wrestler does. And then, you know, either the Animotion song or WWE's homemade Saturday night's main event theme, which is fantastic, mixed into this as well. And, you know, just a lot of good old stuff. You know, I don't need a full-blown old school show. I still, you know, it'd be nice to still have a Tron and all of that, but I would love to see some red, white, and blue ropes. Things like that. So maybe even bring back the banners that hang. You know, WWE doesn't hang any banners anymore, right? On each corner of the ring. Maybe bring the banners back, you know, hanging from the rafters. Things like that would be kind of cool. We will see. I'm stoked for this. I made plans. I mean, December is a crazy month for me at work. No watch along tomorrow or Monday because of how crazy my work schedule is. But there was no way I was going to miss tonight. I made sure I was off because I wanted to be home to watch this with you guys and see what the F is going to happen on SNME tonight. Thank you so much, guys, for being here. You know the drill. Subscribe if you're not. Thumbs up button would be really helpful tonight because we will be here for quite a while. Right after Saturday night's main event goes off the air, we're going to do a podcast. We're going to talk about the show and review the show. We're also going to talk about last night's SmackDown. We're going to talk a little bit about AEW, World's End, Rey Fenix, Tony Storm, Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa's tribal combat on January 6th. Lots of shit to get into later on, so please stay tuned. When we are done with this watch-along, we're not even going to switch streams. We're just going to stay right here and flip it over to a review and kind of do a little miniature version of our Winged Eagle podcast. Speaking of which, Cody Rhodes is apparently going to be coming out tonight with the Winged Eagle Championship. Otherwise, whatever that case was that Triple H opened and showed Cody must have been the soul of Marcellus Wallace. Because otherwise, I don't know what would shine gold on your face like that other than the beautiful Winged Eagle Championship, the belt that I named my fucking podcast after. So, right on. Here we go. It is almost time. 1 minute until showtime. Let me pull up NBC. Make sure I am live and ready. I do watch my cable television on a stream, DirecTV stream. It does tend to be a little bit behind what other people are watching. So if you are watching on regular cable or wherever you're watching, you might be a minute ahead of me. Plus, there's a 30-second delay here from YouTube to when it gets to you as well. So between those like delays, we're not going to be completely synced up, but we will be close enough. I'll try to have the volume up a little bit so you can kind of hear where I'm at. I know I got to say hi to everybody too. Shout outs, super chats, all that stuff. We will start knocking those out as we go. If I haven't gotten to you yet, doesn't mean I've missed it. Just means I haven't gotten to it yet. But thank you, Chris and Killicam and Alex Dredge and Joe DeLuca and K-Dog's Kennel for chiming in with some super chats. We will get to those. But right now, it is time. Oh, it says portions pre-recorded, huh? All right, NBC. Let's see what kind of intro we're going to get, guys. I'm excited for the intro. Let's do it. I will be saying hello to everybody. I see all y'all. Good to see you. Thanks for being here tonight. Especially you members and mods. New York City. Oh, I love the song. Nassau Coliseum. This is where the very first one was. They ran a couple of them here, I think, at least. Well, show me the retro feel. Give me some inside shots here. Tessitore. All right, here we go. Intro time. Oh, the old TV. You kids today, you'll never know this pain right here. Oh. Saturday Night Live will not be seen tonight. Oh, that was the... Oh, that made my heart flutter as a kid to hear that. To hear those words. All right, a little montage here. That SNME where Undertaker came out of the casket, to me, is the final ever SNME. That 92 shit they did when Bulldog beat Shawn, that didn't feel like the same to me. The Saturday Night's main events, as I knew them, was 91. Look at this. Oh, that's so good. So they are doing both songs. Chelsea's got to win that belt tonight. There's no doubt. Oh, that's cool with Cody doing the thing. All right. That was okay. That was an okay intro. A little weak, but still very cool. They got the old school logo up there. It does not look right without the F. It just, my brain can't get, it looks askew to me, even though it's not. Well, we definitely are going to have the red, white, and blue ropes if they have the old school logo. Look at the entranceway. They have the... Holy shit. I think they have the 1992 neon light entrance. You know what I'm talking about. Oh, my God. I'm so happy to have that. So this is kind of like an old school. There's the belt. He's wearing a Goldust shirt. He wore a Stardust shirt last night. Oh, Liv's got the megaphone like Jimmy Hart. I don't understand why the talent walks in past merch stands. That doesn't make any sense to me. Why is there merch stands backstage? Imagine if Balor and Owens both get back to the championship this year after eight-year droughts, respectively. Ugh. Gunther looks mad. Gunther looks like the owner of a restaurant who's coming in to yell at everybody. Yell at all his employees. What are you doing? Oh, look at him, and he's got the boas. Holy shit. Holy shit. We're just doing a little podium here? Okay, now remember, this is a 2-hour show, okay? So they're spending a lot of time farting around here when we got 5 matches.
Thank you, Joe. It has been, let me just scream this out, 40 years. 4-0.
4-0.
Since I've been in the WWE.
No, it hasn't, Jesse. Jesse, it has not been 40 years. Jesse, it's been like 34. Oh, the red tie for Mean Gene. Thank you for that, Joe Tessitore. I knew I liked you. Although Gene didn't usually wear the red tie. Vince did. I think Gene wore regular bow tie, right?
I questioned at first if he was truly Dusty's son. Why would you say that? Well, because Dusty Rhodes, Cody has a washboard abs. The only thing Dusty could win is most abs. And I'll tell you this. Wait, I'll tell you this. He also proved it to me with his ego. At SmackDown, he gets involved in a match that he wasn't signed for. He gets an injury.
Jesse's still a heel. I love it.
Cody Rhodes could end up tonight like a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. Well, I know you're prepped and you're excited. You are the call of that championship match as we will get right to the
Nice. He is going to be on the call for the championship match.
ringside.
Look at that entrance. Who the hell is this? Oh, Pat McAfee. I'm like, who is coming out? I love that entranceway. Look how small it is. They got the red, white, and blue ropes. I don't like the classic logo without the F. My brain can't register it. I don't know if this has the effect on other old people who remember the old classic WWE. The one that's right there. Right there. That guy. If I can touch it. That. When my brain looks at the WWE version of that logo, it looks like it's off-centered. Or it doesn't look right. Like my brain, I can't focus on it or something. I think it's because my brain knows it's fucking sacrilege. But it's perfectly centered and, you know, and drawn. But, like, my brain just thinks it's lopsided or something. I can't describe it. Damn Wildlife Fund, hell yeah. I know I owe you guys shout out. Just give us a second here. I don't want to miss nothing. What's the opening match? McIntyre and Sami. All right, well, Drew's coming out. Let me do some quick shout outs. Red Raven Rucker, Muhammad, Zayn G, Melissa, Garrett Osborne, Chad Jones, Michael Kumo, JJ 1987, William Cullen, Alex Dredge, Daniel Barry Sports, Tatanani, Joey DeLuca, Colin Wright, K-Dogs, Kennel, Harry Rice, Diet Water, Ben Espinoza, Denny Down Bad. We've got DJG, Killicam, Barry MK, David Brown, Mike Rouse, The Juliet, Joshua Aparicio, Rui, Nate Dogg, Kata. Let me see. Ken Webb in the house as well. Good to see you. Rodrigo, Doug, Unfunny. Victor Cologne, Jeff McMahon, Nakita Abalakin. We got Joe Brill, Yachiro. Always good to see you. Zombie Fighter. Happy to see you. Ruben Anthony, Kevin Plays in the house as well. Matt Bork, Lou Thompson, Ricky Zalvadar, JJ Leg, Jacob A, Crazy J, William, Matt. Oh, I got you. Bujar. Domo, 1987. Shell Shock, right on. Also, thank you to K-Dogs Kennel. Merry Christmas to you, my friend. Always happy to see you here. $1 from Joe DeLuca. Thank you so much. Alex Dredge, thanks for the $5. Hey, Greg, had an awful week, so I could really do with KO winning the Winged Eagle title. Hope you're doing good. Keep up the amazing content. Sorry about your awful week, man. Hope it gets better. There's always another day. There's always another week. And, man, I'm with you. Kevin Owens winning the Winged Eagle title tonight would be... with Jesse Ventura on the call and his voice saying, "We've got a new champion of the world." Oh my God. Please make that happen. Killicam, thanks for the $2 as well. WWE taking Raw off Peacock. Will it be on YouTube? Possibly. Possibly that Vault channel. Yeah, the Raw archives not being on Peacock does suck. Doesn't suck for me because all the Raws that I would care to go back and watch, I already have in my own private collection. But the newer Raws, people want to go back and watch a Raw from 2020. I don't know why you would. They're not going to be available on Peacock at the beginning of the year. That's a bummer. Hopefully they will find an alternative. Chris Ludek has got 5 for us. Love that you're doing this watch along. Let's hear your favorite SNME memories. I only remember the one in 92 where HBK beat the Bulldog. Yeah, and that wasn't even the right one. You know, to me, I think that was more of a primetime deal. Didn't come on at 11:30 like the older ones did. The post WrestleMania 7 Saturday night's main event was really the end of them in 1991. Then they brought it back in 92, and then they brought it back a couple of times in the late 2000s, right? But they didn't feel authentic to me. Not even close. But I've reviewed my favorite episode of all time from 1987 when the Mega Powers formed. But yeah, if anybody's got memories, hit them with us tonight. JJ Legs got 5 as Sami Zayn comes to the ring. Hey, Greg, sorry for being inactive. Been working extra recently because I'm going to the Rumble in Indy. Yes, super stoked for my first in-person Rumble. I have never been to a Royal Rumble. I am jealous. But don't worry about working a lot. I'm doing that too. My December is crazy, but profitable, so it makes it okay. Mike Witt, appreciate the 5 from you. Hi, Greg and chat. This brings back memories for this old guy. All we need is Kevin Owens winning and bringing back the Winged Eagle. I think Cody's going to bring back the Winged Eagle, and hopefully Owens will just win it and keep it. That would actually be cool if Owens was like, no, I don't want the old belt. I'm going to carry this Winged Eagle. All right, Sami and McIntyre. These matches are going to have to be fast because there are 5 matches to get done here. Ruben Anthony, thank you for the 5, man. Remember that Hogan lost the Winged Eagle title when it debuted? Yes. Maybe Cody drops it to KO upon its one-night return. I've thought that same thing as well, Ruben Anthony. 2 more from Mike Witt. Can we get a Jimmy Hart butt branded? Can we get Jimmy Hart butt branded? He got branded before, didn't he? Maybe on that first or second episode by Funk's deal. Welcome to the family, Mike Witt, even though you've been family for a long time. I think you had an issue with your previous account, right? Sorry about that. You're a much longer member than what you get credit for. All right, Michael's wearing the light brown jacket, white t-shirt. If you have an unlikely chance of seeing me. Curious where your seats are. Unless you've tweeted me.
Absolutely fantastic start for Sami Zayn. Attacks Drew early. And a picture.
Yeah, get your shit in, Sami.
Sit down and springboard moonsault to the outside.
The beloved Sami Zayn being cheered on by the WWE fans here tonight at Nassau Coliseum.
But Drew McIntyre told Sami Zayn, you better kiss your family, Sami, because I'm taking you out tonight. McIntyre.
So crazy to see those red, white, and blue ropes. And somebody, who was it on the podcast? When was the last time we were up live? Somebody mentioned the other night about the referees wearing the bow tie. I'm like, I don't need them to go that far with it, but they did. Saturday night's main event continues. How are they going to get all this shit done in 2 hours? I have no idea. Yeah, just Smitty, we definitely have are going to have commercials tonight. That's kind of a given. Brian Adams, thanks for the 5, man. Yeah, red, white, and blue ropes and the rolled ref outfits. Looks great. Okay, you're not too far from where Jesse was. Okay, cool. Thanks for that, Mike. Man, I hope it's a good time there, Mike. How can you hear me? Do you have headphones in or something? I don't even know what's going on. You got Sami Zayn and Drew McIntyre in the ring right now. We're watching commercials. Pay attention to that. Mike, Tito is good. Thanks for 2 more. Where is he anyway? I do not have eyes on Tito. I do not have visual contact. He could be anywhere at this point. Up to no good, no doubt. I am hoping, Tatanani, that they do have an overrun. I would think things would be a little bit more strict on, national television or network TV. But I don't know how they plan on getting all this in. I mean, this has the same amount of matches as Survivor Series, but it's half the length of time as Survivor Series. You know, Triple H likes these 5-match cards, but they're usually 3.5, 4 hours. This is only 2 hours. So, yeah.
Going around the Gordon hole. Good thing Gertrude found Delson. Now what's going around is 12-hour cough relief.
Yes, Joshua, $2. Thanks for the collision. Or thanks for the $2. And yes, this is a Collision's watch-along. But we'll be talking Collision because we're going to stick around after this and do a podcast. I've got AEW in my notes. I've got Dynamite's results. I got last night's Rampage results. I got tonight's Collision results because they were taped. So there's a lot of Continental Classic stuff going on. We've got the leaderboard here. Got a few matches listed for World's End. And a lot of news tonight. Later on, after this watch-along, we're going to talk about Logan Paul's retirement. We're going to talk about Drew McIntyre storming off the Busted Open Radio holiday party. We're going to talk about Tessa Blanchard going back to TNA. We're also going to talk about the latest on Rey Fenix and AEW. That situation does not seem to be getting any better. A little bit of an update on Luchasaurus. And we'll talk about last night's SmackDown, the big challenge made to Solo Sikoa, the return of Carmelo Hayes, the Oofa Lafa, and all that other fun stuff we'll get into later on after the show. So stay tuned. Stay with us. Stay with us. Ha! Dustin, no blue jumpsuits for the camera crew. Yeah, why not, man? Go all the way with it. This referee, he cracks me up. He looks like that cousin you have who claims he's connected. The Oofa Lafa. Fucking LA Knight calling it Oofa Lafa. That's what it's called now. I hope you guys know that. Because I will never call it by any other name other than Oofa Lafa. Is that one of them things you use in the shower? I mean, I feel like McIntyre's got to win his return match here.
Resilience, stamina. Ooh. Why they've called him the underdog from the underground. Sami Zayn now takes out McIntyre. If he gets a little bit of momentum and these people get behind him, he's going to be tough to stop.
This has got to be a fast match, man.
Nobody holds on the front of the post, and Sami's got an opportunity. Zayn's got an opportunity. McIntyre is in position for Zayn to go for his finishing maneuver, which is
Maneuver. Yeah, and that's something I knew they would do, and that's why I didn't like the previous installments of this when they did it in 2008, 2009, is because I think they're also understanding that network TV like this, you might have eyeballs, non-wrestling fan eyeballs on the show tonight. So Michael Cole is like, Sami Zayn's going for this finishing move that's called the haluva kick. Like, we all know that, and he never really takes that extra effort to explain what his finisher is. They just call the moves, you know? So the transfer window is such bullshit. All it means is just go whichever show you want to go on. And then have a fake conversation with a GM to make it official. It's a big white noise from the middle rope. Yeah. Power bomb. Sami was like, yeah, I got him. Well, one thing we didn't get that I was hoping we would get is the pre-show little rundown of the matches with little 15-second promos or whatever. And we're not getting any, well, we might later. Maybe we just don't get it for every match. But I was hoping we would get the pre-match interviews backstage with the sparkly curtain. We might just get one of those. There might not be time to do it before every match. Blue.
I don't think the Rhodes would have survived if Sami Zayn would have caught the blue. Picture perfect blue thunderbolt.
Oh, man, I think if Vlad was there, we would have already seen him on camera. They would have made a point to show him.
I was able to continue to fight back in these type of matches against opponents that are much bigger, much stronger than he is. Yeah, some people got it, some people don't. Some people have a give up in them, some people don't. And that's the Sami Zayn mantra. Never give up. Yes, it is. Over 14,000 strong.
You better hop to it. You only have time to do about 20 minutes per match here. That's with entrances and shit, so better get on it.
And home again tonight for the reinvention of this classic as McIntyre rolls out of harm's way, back into the ring. Sami Zayn now. Claymore by McIntyre from out of nowhere. Cover by Drew.
Wow. Claymore for the win. Yeah, this wasn't going to be a 25-minute match, you know? That's all right. Sami can take a loss now. Sami might be winning the title at WrestleMania if Kevin Owens wins tonight. If Kevin Owens wins tonight, Sami Zayn will beat him for the title at WrestleMania. And then the Raw title might be like the bigger title, maybe, if Roman wins it or something. Thanks for 5 more from you, Colin Wright. Loving the commentary. Better than the days of Vince telling them not to call the moves and talk crap. Yeah, just Vince's influence in general, being no more, has been absolutely wonderful for the business. He did nothing but bring it down for the last 10 years.
The sudden impact of Drew McIntyre. It is time I cured WWE of its cancer. And that cancer is anyone associated with the original bloodline.
All right, big win for McIntyre.
Brought to you in part by WWE Mayhem. Download WWE Mayhem now and claim your free anniversary loot case. Unlock epic rewards and build your roster with more than 210 WWE superstars to dominate the ring. It's story events and player versus player battles. This exclusive gift is only available today. Give me the loot. Give me the loot.
Give me the loot. All right, Iyo Sky's up next. All right. I don't know if she's going to win the title. I mean, it's on different shows, so it would not matter. So I don't know why I always think of things like this. But if you're going to crown Chelsea tonight, do you want to crown another champion on the same show? You know? Wouldn't you want one, Iyo or Chelsea, to kind of have that spotlight to themselves, you know? That's why I don't know if it's going to be Chelsea and Iyo. I low-key hope that Liv Morgan wins. You could have Morgan win, and then Ripley beat her, and then Iyo beat Ripley for the title. Because you know how Iyo and Ripley had that little face-off on Raw to close the show on Monday? I'm like, ooh, that felt like a WrestleMania match right there. So, or a Rumble match, but WrestleMania might be better. Zane G, thanks for the $10, my friend. There's going to be another SNME before the Rumble. That's right, January 25th. Possibility of John Cena making an appearance. I think there's a very high likelihood. January 25th SNME is where I had pitched the Ufalafa match to be, the Tribal Combat. And I said it's not going to be on Raw because they're not Raw guys. Even though Roman was never drafted, he could technically be a Raw guy. It's a SmackDown story. So the fact that they're putting a match that big on Raw just to put something on that Netflix show, I don't love it, but I understand. But Saturday night's main event is where I thought they could just do that match. But they're getting it done on Raw instead. But I definitely think Cena will be at the Rumble. We're going to get Goldberg back this year, too. Cena and Goldberg both having their final matches in 2025. It's going to be a wild year. The new one. What's up, man? Appreciate 5 from you. What's up, Greg? Sami Zayn reminded me of Mick Foley a little bit. Do you? Yeah, he does. He's got that, just shaggy-ass look, but also a super kind-hearted, good dude who's well-liked and respected by nearly every single one of his peers. And think about the people that Mick Foley had beefs with, Hogan and Flair. Dickheads. Sami Zayn, same thing. I don't think he got along with Punk real well and stuff, but for the most part, you've always heard nothing but glowing things about Sami Zayn. And we've donated to his charity right here on the podcast several times. We're big fans of his here. Oh, man. Sorry to hear that. FRGN not showing the... SNME is not showing on the WWE Network. Yeah, you don't know how to view it here in Singapore. Shit. Yeah, I'll try to do my best to call the action here for you. Yeah, I guess no NBC over there, huh? I don't know what y'all have instead. Or how you... it sucks there's not like a streaming option. Like, fuck. That sucks. I don't even know how to help you with this. There's probably an illegal stream you can watch, but I don't know if it works over there in Singapore. I use one sometimes here. Just search some sort of Saturday Night's Main Event stream, see if you can pull up an illegal one somewhere. Or if anybody's got a link to somewhere where you could watch, drop it in the chat. Jeez. Chris Rock hosting SNL. That's funny. SNL's not supposed to be on tonight. It's supposed to be preempted for Saturday Night's Main Event. What the F? Oh, I'm looking. You guys, Tito is here. I'm like looking around for Tito. What are you talking about? Is Tito Santana here? I'm currently on the outside shot of the arena right now. There he is. Now I see him. So that explains about how far behind I am from you guys. Maybe 20 seconds or so. Good to see you, Tito. You are the man. He looks good. Oh, Rich Herring. Oh, yeah. He got the... Did he get the Warrior Award? Is that what he got? Or just regular Hall of Fame? Jimmy Hart. How does this little fucker not look any different? He's like 80. He's still got his hair all done and his tan, and he's got his plugs in. Well, Jimmy Hart just was at ringside. That's it. All right, we're going to show the NBC audience Iyo Sky's convulsions as she comes to the ring. As much as I love her as a wrestler, I hate her entrance. I fucking hate it. Watch her.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall, and it is for the Women's World.
Now she's just doing all this.
Introducing first, the challenger.
I don't know why I just irrationally hate Iyo Sky's entrance. I'm like, what are you doing? I love the entranceway. Hey, and somebody else, whoever that was, mentioned the old school guardrails. And I was like, nah, we don't need all that. But look, here it is. They gave us a little bit of it in the entrance and then the LEDs around the ring. But I like it. I like it. I'm sure there's an AEW entrance I've hated. I just got to think of one. The Judgment Day's Hellion. I mean, if Liv drops the belt here, I would just probably just put the tags on her and Raquel.
The genius of the Sky seeks to add to her own decorated championship resume.
I am ready for Liv.
A revived WWE Classic adds another high spot to its storied legacy. It's a World Championship showdown under the bright lights of Prime.
So, unfortunately, we're just getting these little video packages and no sort of old school, like, pre-match interviews or nothing. I really hate Liv's new music. I liked her old one. Like, what was wrong with her old theme? Why did they turn it into this generic sounding shit? Raquel looks good. I'm checking out body language here. I think she's keeping the title.
Yeah, he's still here. He hasn't changed. In fact, he's got even more annoying. I don't know how that's possible, honestly, but Liv, you talk about potential wrestler of the year. Still champ. Reagan Strong. Saturday night's main event is powered in part by C4 Energy, the official energy drink of WWE. With energy that hits a delicious sugar-free flavor.
Now, I doubt I'll be catching the Ring of Honor pay-per-view. I got one more just bonkers week of work until Christmas gets here. It's just Christmas party season, so... look at Charles Robinson in his little powder blue, his crooked-ass bow tie, and his earpiece. But yeah, the Ring of Honor show is what, Friday, yeah, the 20th, right? So, yeah, I'm probably going to miss that, but I'm definitely interested in it.
She's held the women's championship since she beat Becky Lynch back at the King of the Ring in Saudi, the King and Queen of the Ring in Saudi Arabia back in May. She won the Crown Jewel Championship, first ever, by knocking off Nia Jax in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia.
Oh yeah, I forgot that Liv beat Becky for the title.
I think Liv is in the running for Wrestler of the Year in 2024. And obviously tonight is a huge one to see if she's still going to remain in that conversation against one of the greatest on the planet when it comes to women's wrestling, Iyo Sky. Think about the damage that Liv has done this year. I don't know how you couldn't have her in the conversation.
Look out, Liv. Ooh, ate a drop kick. I mean, this match, I mean, we got to go like 9 minutes on this match here.
Obviously, global sensation has been Liv. Interesting stat as it comes to Liv Morgan. She has not lost a singles match. It's all the way back.
Brian, thanks for the 5. Be careful with what the fans that close. They might slap the talent like on TNA last night. Was that for real or was that a plant? It looked so weak. It was Eddie Edwards, right? Yeah, Colin. Eddie Edwards being assaulted, I guess. But he just, I mean, you shouldn't be touching, as a fan. You should not be reaching out and slapping talent. But it felt like a little light slap. And the guy got slapped right back. It didn't feel like that big of a deal to me. But people are reacting to it, even wrestlers, as if it's completely legit. So I suppose it is. But just when I watched it, I'm like, okay, that could have easily been worked. Or that could have just been one of Eddie's friends. Hey, slap me and I'll slap you back. Like, I don't know. I need a little bit more. It wasn't that intense to me. It wasn't like he lunged over and tried to fucking rip his eyeballs out or nothing. You know, like that one fan that got in there's that video from a couple years ago, that one fan that stepped to Jacob Fatu. And he came and just leveled him, just knocked him right down. That was a little bit more, that felt a little bit more authentic than what the Eddie Edwards thing was last night. And granted, it might be completely legit. It just didn't, like, I didn't even put it in my notes for the podcast tonight. It just was a non-issue to me. So I'm like, oh yeah, dumb fan slapped a wrestler, maybe for real, maybe not, and got slapped back. But it wasn't like a brutal, it's not like the guy broke his jaw or anything like that. It was just like a slap, you know?
Discover yours. Let's review. We're not going to talk about traffic or weather. If anyone brings up lawn care, I will handle it.
Hosting can be extremely difficult for young homeowners turning into their parents.
Oh, are you done with this? I'll just take that.
Okay. He's still drinking.
Oh, look what the cat.
No. Nope. Let's try again. You wouldn't mind? It gets ugly. You can either take it off or I'll take it off. Yeah.
Progressive can't protect you from becoming your parents, but we can protect your home and auto when you bundle with us.
Oh, okay. So the fan that okay, see, I didn't read anything about it.
I'm not waiting. If it's COVID, Paxlovid.
Paxlovid is an oral treatment for adults with mild to moderate COVID-19 and a high risk factor.
That's crazy. He got turned over the okay, so they really did grab him. He got assaulted. See, I only saw one little clip of this on social media. I saw the fan slap Eddie and Eddie slap him back, and that's all I saw. So I'm not aware of any pepper sprays or getting turned over to the police or anybody getting arrested or anything like that. But okay. It still looked like a weak little ass slap, and fans are stupid. I don't know why any fan would ever reach across. I haven't missed any super chats, Mike. I just haven't gotten to them yet. Chill out. I don't think any fan should be reaching across and smacking, anybody like that, and they deserve to be beat down or arrested if they do. But when I saw the clip, I'm like, it felt so tame to me. Maybe it was late at night. Maybe I had a little too much of the green gimmick, but let me search it here on Twitter and just look at it again. Eddie Edwards slap. Okay, here it is again. Okay. I'm watching it. He's smiling in his face. That was just a tiny... What are we even doing here? I mean, it was... Oh, my jaw. Arrest that fan. He touched me with his hand on my chin. Yeah, well, I mean, you should not touch the wrestlers. He should be turned over to the police, absolutely. But this is so mild to me. Can you understand why, I'm watching it right now, can you understand why why I thought it was a work? It just looks lame. That is not even news to me. I don't even care. I don't care that Eddie Edwards got love tapped by a fan. Don't care. I was just kidding, Mike. No, I've got like 3 of them up here I still have to get to. Sorry, it's a busy day in the chat. It's Saturday night's main event going on here. And Eddie Edwards apparently getting love tapped. This is a tough match because, for story, I kind of want maybe Liv to retain, but I also want Iyo to win. Because at this point, the story between Liv and Rhea Ripley is so strong, you don't really need the championship just to blow that off. So you could have Iyo Sky totally win here. I would love that. And then have Rhea and Liv blow their issue off. And then build for Rhea and Iyo, I guess. But shit, I don't know. Another thing to think about here that evidence that Liv will retain is that this match is coming before the United States Championship match. Got to remember that. Yeah, Victor Colon. Oh, no, Vontae, I did get you. I thought I missed Vontae as well. No, I got him. It was Victor and you I missed, Mike. Victor I got. Oh, yeah, well, of course. I hope Cody wins a title, too. And there's yours, Mike. The 5 from you. How about this for a swerve? Iyo looks like she's going to win tonight. Oh, yeah, shit. And then Oscar returns and turns on Iyo. Don't forget my last super chat. Oh, you had another one, too? Oh, maybe I did miss one. Okay, there's the other one, Mike. I guess you're right. I did miss him. I saw the Oscar one. I did not see this one, and that was the 5 from you. All honesty, I think Cody wins. Then as Cody is walking away, he gets hit with an RKO out of nowhere, and then we get a triple threat main event for the Rumble. We could do that. So, Iyo, we could see Asuka, Randy Orton, CM Punk, Charlotte, a lot of people tonight. But that's a good idea, too. But I think if Owens, they went through the trouble of Owens hitting the pile driver on Randy. So I feel like Randy's got to come out and swerve and turn on Cody during the match and help Owens. Otherwise, I don't know. I might like the Asuka idea better. Because at some point, she's got to get back. Even if Iyo Sky doesn't win the title here, I feel like she might. Before or around WrestleMania time, based on what we saw Monday night. I don't know if Iyo... I guess Iyo legitimately slipped on the top rope and then Liv capitalized with kind of like a code breaker. Look at her slapping herself. Yeah. In case you're wondering where we are, Liv just slapped herself. So sync up with Liv's slapping if you want to follow along. Yo, thank you for the 10 bucks. Zayn G. Tomorrow I'm going to be heading to the Blue Pyramid in Long Beach for an independent wrestling event with appearances from Mercedes, Jack Perry, and Leo Rush. Holy shit, have fun. If you can get any pictures of that, chuck them over on there on that Twitters. Damn, I hope that's fun, man. I was about to say the prettiest moonsault. What's hers called? The moonsault of the sky or something? I forgot. Oh, genius of the sky. Okay. Oh! Liv got the double boots. Oblivion? Oblivion? For the win? She's gonna beat her clean? She is. I had oh, she's busted open too. Yeah, I was not sold on Liv dropping the belt here. She might have. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. She got caught. Oh, she got caught hard. There she... Well, we knew we'd see her. So it looks like the triple threat is next. They're making good time. We're only 45 minutes in with 3 matches left and an hour and 15 to go. Yeah, that knee was mushed right in her face. Ugh. It makes my eyes water just thinking about how Liv caught that. Do I have Rob Van Dam in here? Yeah, there. Good. Okay. I was like, I don't even know if he's here tonight. He's here. Couldn't remember if I invited him, but I did. Fortnite. I don't know what a Fortnite is. I mean, I know what it is, but I don't know what the game is. What do? You shoot people? Don't you shoot people in every game? Isn't every game just wander around the countryside shooting people? Isn't that what every video game is now? It's Santa.
for the toughest finishes. Dry, burnt-on stains, old dishwashers.
Damn right I'm stuck on NES proudly.
With Cyclosuit technology, helps deliver the ultimate clean.
I'm almost happy that I didn't get too crazy into video games because that it feels like it's time consuming. It feels like it really does consume people's lives, and with my wrestling consuming my life and my YouTube and my fucking career and my relationship and my life, I don't know where I'd fit video games in. I have no room for them. I can barely fit in sports, much less anything else.
20 golf champions team up with their loved ones at the PNC Championship on NBC and Peacock.
Not the best sound to start your day with, is it? Your next decision should be to
It's funny, I'm watching a commercial with a busted garage door, and mine is currently busted, and my guy's coming to look at it tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, making a Sunday morning house call to look at my garage door. What a nice guy.
Need a new door? We do that too. And right now, get a new garage door, Wi-Fi opener, and remote combo installed for as low as $34 per month and up to $500 in
Oh, that's weird. This is even the same place I'm using, because it's local. Ha! That's so crazy.
Wherever you do. Because why take all those great road trip pics if you can't share them right away? We get it. That's why Cox Mobile runs on the network with more nationwide coverage than T-Mobile.
If Gunther was still IC champ, we'd see honky tonky tonk, man. We probably would.
Needs big savings, no matter where life takes you now.
Mike, you and Greg Gagne, Mike. I don't know, man. Just think what good Mike would have done to Greg Gagne back in the day. If I was a wrestler and Gagne was on the guardrail as a fan and he slapped me, yeah, what I would do is I would grab Greg Gagne. I would render him unconscious with a chokehold until he's completely unconscious. Then I would take his limp body that's now limp and unconscious and power bomb them on the steps.
Chia Pets, the gift that grows. Chia Pets available at Walgreens, Target, Amazon, and Walmart.
Fucking Chia Pet. My friends bought me a Chia Pet as a joke, and I couldn't even, I never even opened it.
Living spaces.
Yeah, Von, well, that's what I'm saying. It only consumes you if you let it. I probably would let it, you know, because I think video games are very addictive and stuff, and I'm not against them. I just, at all. I'm just older, so, like, video games got so complex. I just was like, okay, I can't handle this. I just need, like, 3 buttons, up, down, A and B. When you start putting buttons all over around them on the back, and then you can, you know, surgically implant buttons in your ear and your face and all that, it's just crazy. And the video game technology has blown my mind. How things have changed since I was a kid. But now I'm too far gone. Like, how would a 47-year-old man who hasn't played any video game system since a Sega Genesis, how would you teach someone like me? It would be like trying to teach a 5-year-old calculus. You know, like I wouldn't be able to be taught. I'm 3 decades behind everybody else. How the fuck, you know? Just leave me be. It's like, I don't think I can. Even if I wanted to get into games, I don't think I could. Nice, Pat McAfee with the pencil flip, the Mr. Perfect pencil flip. All right, here comes Finn Balor. What I'm rooting for is for Gunther just to retain here, because we did hear some rumors. I don't know who it was, where it originated from, but it might have been WrestleVotes. But the WWE might be planning a big title change for tonight, and I've been advocating for weeks that Kevin Owens take the title from Cody. For more than weeks. Y'all have been tired of hearing about it. If good mic work brings this shit up on one more fucking podcast, I've had people yell at me. Good mic work. Now, I read on the internet that WWE is very happy with Cody Rhodes, so that they're not going to take the belt off of him. WWE was very happy with Stone Cold, too. How long did it take after WrestleMania 14 for him to drop the belt? 3 months. So shut up. I like how Finn took his mask off. Did he think we were going to be surprised that it was him or something? Yeah, we knew it was you under there. I remember last week I thought briefly that Gunther and Priest were working together. I'm like, oh, never mind. Not 2, but 3 Coupe de Gracies. I'm going to grab another Frosty. I'll be right back. All right, Damian Priest. With Gunther out last, no doubt. I like Priest a lot. Mike Witt, you're not a nerd if you still have your LJN figures. I still have mine. All of them. I've got my King Kong Bundy and George the Animal Steel that are painted with magic marker because I tried to make them into demolition. Oh, yeah. Is Priest a Yankees or Mets fan? I think he's Yankees, right? So he's probably a little bummed about the Soto thing. Now, Long Island, right? Would that be Mets territory? Help me out, New York people. Where do Yankees fans generally live? Are they like Manhattan? And like Bronx? And then like Mets are like Staten Island and shit or whatever? I don't know how does it work up there? And what if you're upstate? Who do you root for? Who does Syracuse and Buffalo and Albany, where do those cities lie with their allegiances? Hey, I was right about that Manhattan and Bronx. That sounds about right. Mets fans are Queens. Okay. So I don't even mean this in a bad way, but are like Mets fans considered trashier than Yankees fans? That's funny. It's like that here, too. Dodgers and Padres, very distinct fan bases. And Angels, for that matter. We got a lot of baseball teams out here. How many does my state have? 6? 5? At least 5. San Fran, Oakland, L.A., Anaheim, San Diego. Maybe just 5. Feels like more. Gunther. These ref cams, completely unnecessary. They offer nothing. WCW tried it years ago with Nick Patrick with his crazy person helmet, and then they've put cameras up on the ring posts before. They've tried to get an in-ring perspective, like a POV camera shot of matches for so long. They just haven't been able to find one that really works, and I think they should stop trying. Don't really need it. I mean, we were talking about video games earlier. Like, what if you were watching wrestling from a first-person perspective? Like, imagine the camera is inside, it's behind the eyeballs of Gunther. So you're seeing everything from how he sees it. We might get there one day. If Goldust was willing to get... Oh, Damian Priest, be careful. Full-on dive. He landed terribly. But if Goldust was willing to get breast implants, some wrestler will be willing to get the camera implanted in their head. So sooner or later, we'll get there. I'll probably be dead, but some of y'all will probably be alive to witness that. If anybody wants to put dibs in when I die, who can have my YouTube channel, first one to call it gets it.
Yeah, every night.
Only pay what you need.
Beer that doesn't itch. Are you using Tennessee Gillette on that thing? Tennessee Gillette. Look, this beer trimmer pros got 40.
Joshua, I answered a question similar to that last night on social media. What would I do with $760 million specifically? I would take $100 million for myself. Then I would make sure every single friend and relative I have has a home to live in and excellent health coverage. I'd make sure all their kids are put through college. And whatever's left, I would give to charity.
Never stepping foot on this trail again. I became great at making excuses, but I have people who count on me.
Like I'm gonna get mine. $100 million. How much fucking money do you need? I wouldn't be able to spend that if I tried. So give me $100 million, just so I can have a couple of homes and a couple of different places and travel freely and live completely comfortably with no ever financial worry at all. But literally the rest I will give away. What am I gonna do with it? Give it to my friends and family, and then find a good charity. You know, somebody trying to cure cancer or something. And say, here, take this. Save the world. That's what I would do. I don't understand like these billionaires who are like 75 years old, billionaires, and they're just like working like 12-hour days, you know? And I mean, what are you working for? I guess people have just different, I mean, the whole goal in life should be to not work. You know, so the minute I am financially able to not work anymore, I'm stopping. I'm not trying to get more. I'm not greedy. Like, just let me have a house and plenty of money to live off of, and I'm done. I don't need more. Like if I have $700 million, I don't care about being a billionaire. I want to be a billionaire, so I can say I'm a billionaire. I don't know. I'm going to go in the opposite direction. I'm going to give it all away. Buy myself a nice, beautiful, giant fucking house or mansion right on a fucking ocean or lake somewhere and just live my life happily and eat well every night. And like, what else do you need, man? I think that's why this world is so evil and stupid, is because people are so greedy. It's like, well, the more they get, the more they want. Now, I will say this. I am one day curious about putting one of them MetaQuest things on my head, because that's some wild shit. Hey, shout out to the NFL for using Even Flow by Pearl Jam to hype this Seahawks and Packers game. Cool. No, I would not start a wrestling promotion. No. No, you're not allowed to do that. You can't be a billionaire wrestling fan and then dare to start a wrestling promotion. Then you're Nepo baby and stupid and all these other things that fans are just obsessed with. And it's like, and I don't want a bunch of weird fucking virgins obsessed with me. Don't want that. So I ain't starting no wrestling company. It isn't worth it. The fans don't deserve it, for one. I could start it with the best of intentions and, you know, and all that, and all I'm going to get is shit, negativity, and a bunch of people punching the clock at McDonald's trying to tell me how to run my company. Nope, not doing it.
In nearly 3 years. Once by Sami Zayn, once by Cody Rhodes.
Oh, I thought Priest was bleeding from his ear. I think that's just welts from the... He's got an extremely red ear there. I mean, Balor pulling off the crazy upset here would be wild, but I'm holding out hope for Cody losing to Owens.
Stunning Balor. You saw the welt beginning to grow on the chest of Finn. Finn caught him though with that Damian Priest takes out both men with a vicious double clothesline. Momentum, easy come, easy go in a triple threat. Damian Priest has all of it right now. Deep shot to the chest. You can hear that. Oh! And Priest firing back. Balor gonna
Greg Morgan, the movie. I've been working on it. The thing is, I gotta wait until Brad Pitt's schedule is open, because he's the only actor that could realistically play me that would match my handsomeness, you know? So it's kind of up to Brad on that one. But as soon as he's available, we're going to get production started on Greg Morgan, the movie.
absolutely. How could you not be? Priest out to the apron. Catches the chop. Priest is look in a zone, so focused here tonight.
Priest is going old school? Is that what he's doing? He is! Has he done this before? That was awesome. Now, please tell me Priest has not done that 10,000 times and I'm just noticing it now. But Priest totally did old school, except for coming off with the, I don't know, just the forearm smash. He high cross bodied into it, which was nice. Colin Wright, thanks for the $2. Ever consider being a manager? Yeah, maybe years ago. I just think the ship has sailed on that now. I did get an offer from Sharp Wrestling, that's outfit out of, I guess, Ontario, to do some remote commentary, which I exchanged a couple emails with them, or they wrote me, I wrote them back. Maybe. Could be into that, but I don't want to suck. If anybody wants me to do work for them, I'm like, I want to give them good work. I don't want to, like, just wing it, you know? Nice sling blade. Wow, that was funny. I loved how Balor hit multiple ropes there to hit that. Another sling blade. Sling blade to Gunther. I just hope Gunther retains here. Just so we can have hope. Hold out hope. Oh, look at this. No. Oh. I'm like, with the amount of time they have on the show, you have to keep your eye open for like a quick finish. Since we're doing a podcast later, I'm just updating my notes here in real time, so don't mind me. I feel like Balor is up somewhere. All right, Balor. Nope. Nope. There we go. Updating. All right, just updating our notes for later. And for our results ticker for the podcast. Doing a watch along and doing work at the same time. It's called multitasking. Oh, no, Priest, I was about to say, Priest is way too close. He'll be able to break up that 3 count. Razor's Edge. South of Heaven. No, Gunther's there. Wow, he pulled him by his hair. Oh, that's bad. That's bad. Wow. That's it. Gunther's going to take out Balor right here. Take him down. Do it now. Just end this. Powerbomb for the win. That's it. Props to Gunther. So he powerbombed. He was going for a powerbomb on Priest on the outside of the ring. Priest's heel gets caught on the steps and it kind of stumps the powerbomb, but he's got him like halfway up and he just muscles him up. Powerbombs him right on top of the steps. Immediately hits the ring, grabs Balor, powerbombs him, retains the title. Look at this. Nice. Powerbomb to Balor. Much easier powerbomb to deliver than the one he just did. It might happen, guys. It might happen. Kevin Owens might win.
Saturday night's main event is powered in part by C4 Energy, the official energy drink of WWE. With energy that has the delicious sugar-free flavor. It's the athlete's choice for elevated performance. Grab yours now at 7-Eleven and Speedway.
Axel Bryant, thank you for the tweet. Sometimes the end of one sentence and the beginning of another sentence, if you put them together, sounds weird. That's pretty funny.
Driven by hatred, fueled by what he believes is betrayal, takes on Cody Rhodes tonight. And that is the office of SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis, who will walk to the ring and proudly crown the inaugural Women's United States Champion. It's Michin versus Chelsea.
I mean, I like Michin a lot. I would love for her to win, but I kind of like Chelsea more. And props to Michin. I don't think I've really seen... I was watching her match last night with Chelsea Green. I did not realize what unbelievable shape Michin has gotten into. She has really, like, slimmed and toned down. She looks strong as hell. Quite the transformation. She looked great last night. Chris, thanks for the 5. I think you do a great job on commentary because you're knowledgeable about wrestling and dedicated, but maybe not to the... You know, if I'm calling matches for a bunch of people I don't know, I got to educate myself on them. Otherwise, I sound like an idiot. So, it's like, I appreciate any offer that anybody wants to give to me. I was like, but I really, truly believe in, if somebody's going to pay me to do something, doing proper work. And, you know, I would want to make sure I familiarize myself with their content, with their wrestlers, with their champions, things like that, just so I don't sound like a dipshit out there, you know? So calling matches for like an independent promotion, unfortunately, I don't know how much my wrestling history knowledge would help me there, you know? It'll help me in the ring, like knowing moves and stuff, but in terms of me being knowledgeable about what they do is my main concern.
The new Eau de Parfum Intense. A natural diamond for every milestone and every moment that makes...
But I'd provide good mic work, that's for sure.
Don't miss the savings.
Mike, thanks for 5. If Brad Pitt is you, who's playing Elizabeth? Well, let's see. Let's just see here. These days, I gotta think about this one. Give this one some time.
Don't miss the chance to get your choice of...
No, I'm kidding. Probably Tina Fey.
Plus, get Xfinity the internet and one unlimited mobile line together for just $35 a month. That's fast, reliable internet and Wi-Fi speeds up to a gig on the go with Xfinity Mobile.
It's an easy transition there for Elizabeth to Elizabeth Lemon. So probably Liz Lemon. That's who I want to play her.
We were made for whom? Made to bring her joy. Because when a scary...
Nope, don't want to do that either. I don't want to take over creative. I don't think that job is anywhere near as easy as fans think that it is. And that's just fucking a thankless job, you know? Any job that will bring me even the slightest bit of stress, I don't want.
Bye, honey. Morning, bro. Off to Garcia.
All right, what's the next match going to be, guys? Oh, we know. It's going to be a U.S. title because we're done. And then one match after that. Right on. Oh my God, I'm hoping Cody does it.
One application a day keeps very dry skin away.
And if fucking Michin beats Chelsea here, I'm going to have to, like, make a last-minute thumbnail or overlay, because I already have Chelsea with the title on the podcast one. So hopefully it's Chelsea getting the win here.
Yikes. Leaky refrigerator card.
Write that in my notes there. All right, now I got to go down here and put this in.
But your future is bright with an American
We got to go. Gunther
covered appliances and home systems.
defeats Damian Priest and Finn Balor.
We talked about this. American Home Shield. Don't worry, be warranted.
Okay, I don't know what this is. This NFL Shop song is annoying. I'm turning that down. Okay. Yeah, USA is at the new home of Friday Night SmackDown. For one, you got the old logo up there, and you got Logan Paul, who's retired now, apparently. All right, Jesse. Joe Tessitore said he wore the red bow tie because of Gene, but Vince wore the red bow tie.
I'll tell you, she took a shot to the head that would have stopped any normal person and still won the match. I'll tell you, that Dominique, he can pick women.
That Dominique can pick women, can he? Yes, he can, Jesse. He has excellent taste.
We heard that this is awesome chant, and they earned it. How does this arena and this energy compare to the debut that you were at 85?
I'll tell you what, wrestling is even bigger today. 40 years later, you all can be proud of that.
Thanks, Jesse.
Saturday night's main event.
And still to come, Cody Rhodes will
Jesse's wearing his. He used to wear that snakeskin thing. He's worn that a couple times.
the Women's United States Championship Tournament finale, and for that, back to Pat McAfee. Welcome back, Big Pat, and the great Michael Cole. Thank you, Python. Yeah, I cannot wait. You know, obviously, Cole, that's you, the greatest of all time, whenever it comes to this particular profession, but it's called matches. Jesse the Body Ventura, are you kidding me? What a dream. What a dream on Saturday night's main event. I had an opportunity to work with Gorilla Monsoon earlier.
Uh-oh, it's Chelsea Green. Man, it's too bad Samantha Irvin's not around to announce this victory here.
We're debuting a championship.
Oh, of course it is. Logan will be back. He's got a several-year deal with WWE. He's got to come back and have a couple matches. He'll be back. Look at Chelsea. She got three little Chelsea. She's got Chelsea heads all over her gear. That's hilarious. Yeah, Chelsea's totally winning. She's wearing all white here. She's the best. Look at, she's got a whole, like, train, like, wedding dress train behind her just with pictures of herself on there. Beating Bailey last night. How crazy was that? I mean, Piper got involved a little, but that felt more like a clean win to me than anything else. Beating Bailey was wild. Yeah, Chelsea's definitely earned it. Matt Cardona, you are a very lucky person.
Absolutely brilliant from Chelsea Green.
Here comes Michin. Look how skinny she is. She's in the best shape of her career.
Who had knocked off Chelsea Green back in October in the infamous dumpster match.
Keith Lee, I also got to say, there's many men out there who have it worse than you. That's for sure. You've done well, young sir. Man, I love that finisher of Michin. She hit Tiffany on that. And how good did Tiffany look in her little candy cane outfit? Looking awesome. I'm not much of a Tiffany fan, but I was last night. That was terrific. Look at Jessica Carr. Oh my God, she looks like Rita Chatterton. Yeah, about to say, didn't they just have their dumpster matches and stuff? Chelsea has no tats, does she? I like that. I'm not against tattoos, but everybody has them. So nowadays, when you see somebody without them, that's more unique than having them. What is she doing? Taranchi? Little mini Taranchi. I don't know what that is. It's kind of like a surfboard tarantula thing. Wow, Piper with a sidewalk slam on the outside to Michin when Jessica was not looking. Is there somebody like dressed as Double J? I saw Macho Man. There might be a Double J too. I saw Macho. I mean, they both wore cowboy hats. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's Double J, not Macho Man.
Even if your phone is old or dated, you can turn it in at Verizon for gifts for you and the family.
I'm trying to think, who are all the wrestlers that came to the ring with fucking cowboy hats? Blackjack, Stan Hansen, Macho, Jarrett, Jim Ross. Who else wore cowboy hats? JBL. Cowboy hat people. Outlaw Ron Bass wore cowboy hat. Sam Houston wore cowboy hat.
Save on gifts at Sephora at Kohl's, where beauty insiders get 20% off their entire beauty purchase through December 15th. Thank you.
I don't think Skinner's hat counts as a cowboy hat.
Just wear it again. Iodine Unstoppable. Now with odor block, and it keeps our clothes fresh all day.
Sean wore Skinner hat. Sean Skinner wore Skinner hats.
She smells like I'm actually paying attention. Smell unstoppable.
Undertaker wore a cowboy hat. HBK wore a funny hat. Funny little hats. Those are considered cowboy hats? Yeah. Smoking guns. Brock Lesnar. Well, I guess he wore it to the ring once or twice. Jimmy Wang Yang, yep. The West Texas Rednecks, all them wore cowboy hats, right? It's a popular, it's probably a popular piece of gear.
In 2 languages.
In 2 languages. I get so much TV down here in Spanish, living in San Diego. I'm getting better. I'm starting to learn. I'm still pissed at myself for not being fluent in Spanish. I should have been many years ago, and I never did it. I didn't do the work. I ain't learning Spanish. This is America. I'm like, there is literally 0 downside to being bilingual. No downside at all. But you got people not wanting to learn Spanish just because they don't think they should have to learn it. You know, I'm like, no, you should learn to speak 2 languages. It's very helpful. I love that I'm watching the garage door commercial of the place that's coming to fix my garage door in the morning. That is so fitting. I think my favorite cowboy hat was the one that, what was it, what was the show that Lawler wore like the oversized cowboy hat? I forgot what that was. The Survivor Series? Oh, no, it was Canadian Stampede. Or Canadian Stampede. You in your house. I think he had like this giant oversized hat and you couldn't like see. He was like looking up. You couldn't even see his eyes. Fucking idiot.
Give the gift of play. Scratchers from the California Lottery. You're watching NBC 7 San Diego. Coverage you count on.
All right. Still commercials over here on my end. All right, there we go. We're back.
Champion. Referee Jessica Carr. Looking at the finals of this tournament. Meechin and Chelsea Green one-on-one tonight. And Green now went on the Rough Rider and got countered by
The Rough Rider.
Meechin, who was part of the 2007
I love Chelsea's gear.
18 Mae Young Classic in WWE. She said the fans pushed for her to be signed, and she was. And she said if she wins tonight, this is for everyone in the WWE universe. Meechin with another release, German suplex. Phenomenal with Muay Thai and Judo. Meechin is a full weapon. Would be a phenomenal United States.
Nice tornado DDT there.
Chelsea Green and now Meechin starting to build momentum. Hooks the inside, letting on Green, and a kick out by Chelsea at 2. During the commercial break, I had asked Piper Niven the question if she is a bit jealous over the fact
Joshua, I am retired from fantasy football.
she did not.
I do not play. I'm done. I will never play that shit again. I'm over it. I tried to retire 3 years ago and I got sucked back in, but then this year I was fully done. And I got asked and I'm like, nope, I'm really done this time. Because last year, last minute, I got sucked in. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll just do it. And of course, I don't pay attention to it. I don't set my lineup. I don't care. I just don't care anymore. So, fucking 10, 15 years ago, I was all about it, playing like crazy. Was in multiple leagues and was all dialed in, but I just stopped giving a shit. I don't want to watch football games having to worry about a receiver getting 10 yards and shit. Like I don't want to watch football like that. It's not fun. Come on. Is she gonna put Piper in there too? Oh, she gave. Oh, that was smart. She gave Piper her finisher on the outside. I think that's gonna ultimately cost Meechin though, because that's what cost Bailey last night. Boom. There's Chelsea unprettier. Come on. Yep. This is it. This is how she won. Nope. Come on, Chelsea. Nope. Did she hit it? Didn't look good. Oh. I thought that was, yeah, Meechin is being booed. The fans want Chelsea. Meechin's the babyface here, but she's the heel tonight.
In any category, eat the feet, you're looking for leg lock. She's not able to get full leg lock on her right leg. And Chelsea was still able to manage to keep her consciousness, to get her foot in a rope, and Long Island's behind Chelsea Green. Yeah, tremendous wherewithal and ring awareness there for Chelsea Green. Sent into the corner now by Meechin.
Nice, you're in the playoffs. That's always good. I never had a year where I missed the playoffs. I think I won 3 times. Won first place 3 times in like 12 years. Oof. No, here we go. Come on, Chelsea. Oh, unprettier from the top. Yeah, that's ball game. New champ. New champ. Way to go, hot mess. Happy for you, girl. Inaugural champ. Lillian does it good, but she's not as good as Samantha. Boom. Good for you, Chelsea.
General Manager Nick Aldis presenting Chelsea Green with the title as she makes history here tonight at Saturday night's main event. You have celebrations underway. You have to respect it, Michael Cole.
Oh, look at her. She's lifting her up like Savage and Liz. I love that. Way to go, Chelsea. We're all happy for you.
7 years to the day of winning her first Raw Wrestling Championship. Chelsea Green makes history.
Did I think Penta was going to be on SmackDown last night? No, I wasn't expecting him last night. I think we'll know when he's going to debut. We'll hear about him being backstage or something. Plus, they're probably going to wait, just in case Phoenix can work something out. That's my guess anyway. I'll be right back.
The American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, defends the undisputed WWE title versus Kevin Owens on Saturday night. Main event.
WWE and C4 Energy teamed up this holiday season to support communities across the country and the organizations dedicated to serving them.
This is our season of giving.
WWE superstars supported food banks with a financial contribution and helped pack food for families in need.
We're super excited to have WWE here for this wonderful day. It's such a beautiful day to be able to be part of something so big.
All right. Oh, there. Rosemary Mysterio and Dragon Lee doing some good deeds. It's very nice of them.
Superstars visited Boys and Girls Clubs in Orlando and Las Vegas to host holiday toy and coat drives.
It's amazing work that they're doing here, and I'm glad to be a part of it today.
Man, I'm hoping we see something. I'm not
WWE is proud.
super confident, but I would just be tickled silly if Owens walked out with the title tonight. That would just be unbelievably awesome. And we're about to see the Winged Eagle.
America accepted the wait for pay.
This is going to be good. I'm excited. I'm excited for this main event. Been looking forward to it.
Introducing My Pay from Chime, a revolutionary new way of getting your pay when you want it. Get up to $500 of your pay before payday. No interest, no credit check, no mandatory fees. When any day is payday, it's a good day. Get paid when you say with My Pay. Get started at chime.com.
Get off that couch and come to Old Navy for holiday stuff.
Well, Cody's definitely coming out with the Winged Eagle. I don't think that's why he's winning. I don't think him coming out with the wing. If they plan to take the title off of him, they could still have him come out with the Winged Eagle. It's not a big deal. Hogan lost the Winged Eagle on the Winged Eagle's first night. That would be an homage, if you ask me. If Cody came out with the Winged Eagle and then dropped it. And the when you think about this, the night that the Winged Eagle debuted, 3, count them, different men wore that championship belt on the first night. Hogan, then Andre, then DiBiase.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Cal. Good luck with everything.
So
Red 1, rated PG-13. In theaters everywhere. Now streaming.
I admit that my hope that Kevin Owens wins is unlikely, but I don't think it's because of the Winged Eagle. It's not like WWE is going to put the belt on Kevin Owens, but then when they decided to bring back the Winged Eagle, they're like, oh, well, we can't do that now. We can't. Yeah, yes, you can. Yes, you can. There's no rule. There ain't no rule, Joshua. Or whoever said that. Jonathan, excuse me.
Smooth chocolate and crunchy hazelnut wrapped in gold. Celebrate the moment.
I don't like Ferrero Rochers. I cannot have a big golf ball size of chocolate in my mouth. I can't. It's too much. Too much going on in there.
Because obviously wet cleans better than dry.
Let's watch. See how the wet side clears while the dry just smears.
Yeah, and Randy Orton coming out tonight, it feels like, why did they go through that trouble of doing that pile driver angle if they weren't going to pay that off somewhere? And that's why I think, like, I've threw this out there before for those who haven't heard me mention this 7,000 times in the last month. But remember when Triple H ran out during the Universal title Fatal 4-Way or whatever? And a lot of fans were like, oh, shit, he's going to help Seth win. And then he turned on Seth and pedigreed him and then reached out his hand to Kevin Owens. And Kevin Owens stood there in, like, complete disbelief. Randy Orton could essentially do that same thing. Randy Orton's going to come out. Everybody's going to assume he's going to go right for Kevin Owens. Instead, he RKO's Cody. Owens wins the title, and then, like, Randy Orton helps him up, and Owens is like, what the hell? You know? But it might not be necessarily Owens and Orton forming an alliance. It might be Orton helping Owens win because he hates Owens so much, he wants to beat him for the title. But that could also send you into a Cody and Orton feud. I don't know what's going to happen. I think it would be fun to let Owens and Sami feud for the title this year. and let Cody and Cena and everybody else do other things, you know? And Cody will win the belt back. WWE wants Cody to be a multi-time champion. So you can't be a multi-time champion unless you drop the championship. So that could happen here. Because what I worry about is if Cody retains here and he takes the belt all the way into WrestleMania and he retains at WrestleMania, the Cena and Roman conversations are going to start because they're predictable. You can tell where the fans' minds are going to go before they even get there. So I feel like you're going to hear a lot of that from these predictable, formulaic, sheep wrestling fans that say, do, and believe the same things in unison. And I'm sick of that shit. So I think it would be better for Cody if he just dropped the belt here, just to avoid those conversations. 5 more from Mike Wick. Happy for Chelsea. We all are, man. At the start of the tournament, I thought they might give it to a veteran like Natty, but I'm happy for Chelsea. Natty's going to win the IC. I thought they were going to give it to Bayley. I thought Bayley would be the first U.S. champion. So I'm happy to be wrong about that. I don't want to be wrong about Natty, though. Natalya needs to be the first Intercontinental champion. Raw is Netflix. Look at Greg Valentine and Coco Beware. Wow, they had a Saturday Night's Main Event. We just watched that one. Look at Coco. You still look good, Coco. Valentine, you not so much. Oh, Jesse. Oh, my God. This is crazy. Yeah, stand up.
And first and foremost, I want to congratulate you guys. Really? Yeah. You're sitting there with these cushy jobs, making all of this money, and who the hell do you think paved the way for you?
Jesse, I want to congratulate you sitting at these cushy jobs making this money. Who the hell do you think paved the way for you? Way to put yourself over, Jesse. Oh, my God. It's all right. Jesse can say whatever he wants tonight. This Paisan.
Sunglasses that make him look cooler than you could ever look in your life. A living legend. And on his shoulder, some snakeskin, baby, because there's nothing finer than your man, Jesse, the Body Ventura. That snake died in its sleep peacefully. Lived a very long life, and I'm thankful that you're out here.
And you know what? His name used to be Damien.
Used to be. Are you ready for the main event?
This is, I stole Jake the Snake, and turned him into a coat.
Oh, jeez.
Well, ladies and gentlemen,
I recognize that main event.
This is Damien.
Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens. The undisputed WWE title. Stadium.
There are people out there that are still on Cody Rhodes' side. So let me explain to you why I am right.
Yes, we know why you're right, Kevin Owens.
Cody Rhodes, you know where he was at Bad Blood this year when Roman Reigns needed somebody? Right there by his side.
Mike Witt, thank you for the $5. One thing missing tonight is Gorilla and the Brain. They would have loved this. Yeah, but the thing is, Gorilla and the Brain were not really a part of Saturday Night's Main Event. Saturday Night's Main Event was Jesse and Vince. And there was my favorite episode of all time, incidentally. Bobby Heenan sits in for Jesse. He's off for some reason, probably filming Predator or something. But for the most part, Vince and Jesse were your television and Saturday Night, or like your superstars and Saturday Night's Main Event commentary team. Gorilla and Bobby did like Challenge and Primetime. And Gorilla and Bobby, I mean, maybe Gorilla was he doing one of the early ones? Gorilla might have been doing the early SNMEs. I actually can't remember. But the classic days when it really got cooking, it was usually Jesse and Vince. They were the team. And they really worked good together. And it was funny, Jesse did an interview on a podcast, and the podcasters were like, you know, my favorite ever commentary team was you and Gorilla Monsoon. You were just my favorite, like tuning into you guys every week or whatever they said. I'm like, they were never together. The only time Gorilla and Jesse did commentary together was WrestleMania. And they didn't do TVs together. Gorilla worked with Bobby, Jesse worked with Vince, and then Gorilla and Jesse would only work to WrestleMania. So I was laughing at and they did great together. Gorilla and Jesse were awesome. But the podcast or whoever it was made it sound like they were a weekly fixture in his life, and they weren't. But yeah, Gorilla and Bobby didn't do much of the Saturday Night's main events. Bobby did as a manager and definitely announced at least one. And I think more than that. But either way, just having him there, just having Gorilla doing the voiceover for those like video packages. Imagine Gorilla doing that instead of Michael Cole. That's where I would have loved to have his influence. All right, here comes Kevin Owens. Come on, Owens. I'm trying to check out his body language here. I'm looking at him. Does he look like a guy that's about to go out there and win the championship or not? He kind of does. He's hyped up. Oh, it's almost time to see the Winged Eagle, guys. Some of you who might be ahead of me might have already have been seeing it right now, but Kevin Owens is just now getting to the ring. So Owens has got Dusty Rhodes' shirt with his own face taped over it, and it says the Canadian Dream, Kevin Owens. That's awesome. I can't believe we didn't get any sparkly curtain pre-match interviews unless we get a Cody one here. But I don't think we're going to get one. He's probably just going to come out. Thanks for that, Mike. The Brain was doing commentary when Jake DDT'd Ricky Steamboat. Oh, okay, yeah. So there's those early ones, you know, you might catch somebody different, but generally, once they got into like 88 and beyond, it was, 87, probably 87 and beyond. It was Jesse and Vince.
Well, you know you don't have to make sacrifices now that you're saving money with the Progressive Home and Auto Bundle.
You couldn't have said that like 6 seconds ago?
Want to know a secret? More than just my armpits stink.
I don't like these lady armpit stink commercials. There's too many of them. There's like 3 different ones that I see. It's disturbing. It's TMI. Like, you don't need a commercial to remind you to buy deodorant. Just fucking pick some up when you're at the store. I mean, well, unless you're a wrestling fan. Maybe some of them have trouble. But for the most part, normal humans like me and all you guys in the chat, we know how to cleanse ourselves. Doug on funny, white strap or black strap on the Winged Eagle? It better be black. I could see it being white, though, but I don't want it to be white. It better not be white. It better not be white. That'd be so fucking lame. No white. Yeah, Nate Dogg, thanks for the $5. Sparkly background with the current WWE title. Then comes out with the Winged Eagle as an homage to Hogan. Yeah, I mentioned that on social media. Because we just watched on a members-only watch-along the SNME from 88, the beginning of 88, when Bundy faced Hogan and Andre choked him. I swear to God, that's on that same set of tapings, that's where Hogan filmed his pre-match interview for the Andre match the following month. Because it's the same vibe. He's got the same bandana. And then when he comes out, he's got like dry hair after he was sweating and the Winged Eagle. And it was one of the worst production continuity mistakes they've ever made, you know? Even as an 11-year-old kid, I noticed it. I'm like, what the fuck is that? How did his hair get dry?
To safely target and remove your diet-resistant fat cells for good on your stomach. It's Sam's bag.
Okay, I could do without some of these commercials tonight. Now I got a plastic surgery commercial. I don't want to see the before.
It will change your life. It did for me. Call 1-800-662-6517 now, or go to Soto.
Purple strap for the belt. Yeah, the old Slaughter and Warrior belt. No colored straps except for one. There's only one color that is right, and that is black.
Happy holidays. And if you ever need us, we're here for you.
I wish y'all could see some of these commercials I've been watching tonight.
2222. We're the Law Brothers.
Fuck off.
Hi, I'm Chris Rock, and I'll be
Chris Rock hosting SNL tonight.
Chris, I grew up on your stand-up.
Oh, thanks, Heidi. It's so nice for you to say.
No, I mean it. I didn't have parents. I didn't go to school. I just had a VHS copy of Bigger and Blacker and a dream.
Damn.
Oh, so you had no parents, no school, no education, only a copy of Bigger and Blacker and a dream. That's all Heidi Gardner had. She turned out pretty good. You let Chris Rock raise you? You let Chris Rock stand-up comedy specials raise you? Apparently you turned out pretty good. I wish I would have known that.
Saturday night's main event at Nassau Coliseum on Long Island is powered in part by C4 Energy, the official energy drink of WWE, with energy that hits and delicious sugar-free flavor.
So good to hear the song again. Yeah, 2 more from Mike. Thanks, dude. I don't I wouldn't want Hogan and Jesse there. They probably don't. Jesse doesn't want anything to do with Hogan. Fuck Hogan. I'm glad Hogan's not here. All right, let's see. Cody, come out. I mean, we might not see it. He's gonna have the robe on, so he's gonna take it off in the ring, I guess. All right. Could we possibly see a title change? I really hope so. I can see it. I see the wingy. Black strap. It's peeking through just a little bit. Yeah, we did hear the rumors about Hogan. I'm really glad he's not here because fuck him. Oh, look at that belt. Oh, it's so good. Oh my God, it's weird to see that thing. Look at that championship. Oh. Oh. God, that's gorgeous. Why don't they just use this belt? Michael Cole, you can't even say Winged Eagle. Yeah, Reg Parks make the bull. So there's the toy wingy right there, but then I got the real job right there on the wall as well. And I watched with my parents that night when Hogan lost the title. And I remember when I went to bed, they came upstairs and checked on me to see if I was doing okay. Like I couldn't believe it. I mean, if you're 10 years old, Hogan was the champ since I was 6, you know? And I never ever wore it. Somebody's got the Winged Eagle in the front row. Macho Man. Is that a replica or is that one of the real? That looks like a replica to me. No, it's not. It's got the WWF on it. Or no, it's got WWE in it. That's a replica. Still looks good, though. That belt looks awesome, though. All right, here we go. Cody versus Owens. It's time, you guys. That was so awesome. Oh, it's so good to see that back, even if just for a moment. It looks better from that angle. Maybe that's not a replica, but I still think that it is. Yeah, that's a replica.
Championship fight. Cody Rhodes' father, the late great American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, participated in a number of Saturday night main events in his career. In fact, the last time we had a Saturday night main event was back in 2008. Cody Rhodes was part of that card in an 8-man tag team matchup, and we're underway. Now, Jesse, you had said earlier.
So what this means is Triple H walked over to one of them merch stands at the arena, grabbed one of them winged eagles off, put it in a fancy case, and then showed it to Cody. They don't have one of the old Brett belts laying around the warehouse anywhere they could have had him wear? Like, that's lame, man. It's still a pretty belt, though.
Well, that's like your best friend stealing your girlfriend. You know, for Kevin Owens as well, it's been
Yeah, twin refs. I'm into that.
years since he's held a world championship here in WWE.
Owens coming out after him. All right, here we go. Props to WWE. They're going to get this. I mean, I don't know how they're going to do a title change here when the show's supposed to end. This is going to be a 12-minute match. I would love a title change. I would love something. We never did see Charlotte.
And what's the purpose of all this? What's Kevin Owens done to get his head rammed into the table?
Jesse, what is Kevin Owen? What did Kevin Owen done to get his head rammed into the table? I hope we get at least a 5-minute overrun here.
Let's show you once again the angle that Cole injured last week on SmackDown. There's Cody Rhodes. Now there it is. And to your point, Jesse, that could be a problem for Cody here. Absolutely. When adrenaline can carry you a long way.
It can carry you a long way. It can also destroy you.
And now Kevin Owens shots to the midsection. Rhodes as well. Cody now trying to lift Kevin up, and face first goes Owens. Cody Rhodes is a fighting champion, which is why he took that match with Chad Gable that makes you so upset, Bonnie.
Well, fighting champion's one thing, Pat, but you also got to use your brain now and then to stay champion.
Now it's driving Cody Rhodes into the ring post.
Yeah, don't. There's probably some sort of rule, like you can't hurt Jesse. Hi, Randy. Oh, even saying hi to Randy. I mean, are we going to have time for, like, a Randy Orton running and all this shit? Oh, we're getting picture in picture here. They never did title changes on Saturday night's main event, but they did on the main event, which was more of a primetime slot, like this one. It's like the biggest title change that has ever happened in front of the most amount of people was on the main event in 1988 when Hogan beat Andre, the debut of the Winged Eagle. That is what they should be paying tribute here to, and have Kevin Owens do something that has not been done in 36 years. I don't see just any downside to that. Back in the day, they never did title changes on the main events, Saturday night's main events, because you didn't really need to. There wasn't an expectation from the fans. You were just watching wrestling. You didn't have like 9 hours of fresh content every week. You just had like 1 or 2 weekend shows that were an hour long. And that's it. So you didn't have a lot of consumption going on, and you could get away with just doing anything on those Saturday night's main events. You didn't really have to have. WWE probably didn't want to do title changes on a time slot like that. 11:30 at night, 1 o'clock in the morning or whatever, when that would happen. So they were generally just special events, but they were very nostalgic because you have big time matches happening there that you didn't ever see on television, because every TV match was enhancement matches. So Saturday night's main event, you actually had matches between stars. And so title changes weren't necessary, but now every match is a match between stars. So you can't use that formula anymore. Now you might have to do a title change to make sure people tune in at the next one in a month. If you give the audience a show that's just like any other show, or where nothing too crazy happens, what's their incentive to tune into the next one next month in January? So if these things are going to be back, at least for the duration of this next media rights deal, then you need to come out swinging here with this first episode and do something major. I'm right about that. Yeah, and exactly, Mike, because holding up the belt on the go home is usually a clear sign that you're going to lose. Oh, Cody did a Stardust. Cody did a little Stardust cartwheel there, and we missed it. It was in picture-in-picture. No, Cornette didn't even come in until the Saturday Night's main events were done. Swanton coming to Cody here.
Well, Kevin Owens is fighting a good tactical match right now. But what I would do, get on that leg. Get on the leg.
Jesse, get on the leg. Jesse, do you even watch wrestling anymore?
Chad Gable focused on 8 nights ago. Kevin Owens would attack it as well. Now Kevin Owens, shades of a
Dusty elbow. Nope.
Cody is not going to take that. Now Cody going to deliver the left of his own. You felt those in your career, Jess?
Boom.
As a matter of fact, no. No, believe it or not, I never wrestled Dusty.
Yeah, Jesse never wrestled Dusty. He didn't. He did commentary for his matches, though, when he was there. He did not. He was not kind to Dusty.
Well, maybe feed off them all you want, win the damn match.
Cody back to his feet. Off the
Cody cutter. Nope. Disaster kick. Jesse's got to be on commentary thinking, like, how do you guys remember all these moves?
Kevin Owens. Well, you got to admit Owens is tough. Real tough. But no, a regular wrestler would have been pinned right there. Absolutely. This match would have been over.
Yeah, but what about Cody Rhodes? 2 Royal Rumble victories in a row, topping the over 1,300-day reign of Roman Reigns as champion back at WrestleMania. Been an incredible champ since then.
Wow, where's he? Wow.
Kevin Owens rolls out of harm's way.
Brilliant.
Brilliant. Take a powder. Catch your breath. Regroup. Uh-oh. Get out of the way, Jesse. Oh, my God, the table. That table is stiff as hell. Nope. Oh, that looked like a stunner, kind of. Ouch. RKO. With the Winged Eagle title right there. Okay, Cody's going for cutter. Nope. Yeah. Top rope cutter. All right. If there's no overrun, this thing's got to wrap up in 5 minutes.
So you can use the ropes to your advantage.
Get some space as well. Kevin Owens, certainly high IQ wrestler. Up now on the placed on the top rope by Rhodes.
Oof. Dustin in the Rumble, I like it.
That's what I love about Cody, though. Bad wheel, fighting his ass off.
Charles Robinson doesn't have a twin. I hope he does. I want some sort of heist of the century to take place here. I'm really holding out hope.
Because if these drones drop down, I knew that Cody would step in front of them and fight them all. And Cody now having some problems. Maybe the leg giving him a problem as he tries to make it up to the top rope. Owens now with a couple of body shots.
Owens needs to get out of that position, do something, do anything.
I think he is, body.
I love that move Owens does. That twisty suplex thing that he does in basically every match is just wild. I'm just blown away by that move. And the toll it must take on your body to do it. Every time he lands that Fisherman Buster, it is just... God.
I sense the
Yeah, Jesse. Cole shut Jesse down.
Jesse, the body mentioned it earlier. The atmosphere tonight in Nassau Coliseum has been incredible. Sold out over 14,000. On hand. Owens went for the stunner. Cody looking to put him away with crossroads.
Oh, ref bump. Yes. Okay. Ref is down. Oh no, is Cohen... Oh no, is he gonna have Cody pinned? But no ref? Oh no! Kevin, oh no, this is gonna piss Kevin Owens off even more. Here comes another referee. It's too late now. Cody will kick out.
Jesse ripped off his headset. I thought he was going to go in the ring and be an official.
I was ready to go count to 3.
That's what I thought you would.
Damn, don't jump in there, Jesse. I wouldn't put it past him either. Oh my god.
A little bit of ring awareness for keep the ref knocked out to begin with, Jesse.
More ring incompetence by a dumb referee got in the way.
I'm gonna maybe just move away from the chat because if you guys are ahead of me, I don't want to be spoiled.
The second official in this match. Pop-up powerbomb attempted. Rhodes caught him with a super kick. Cody, find another.
Oh, and now Cody takes out that referee. High cross to that referee. Now what happens? Oh shit.
Cody Rhodes, Cody cutter, took out Rango. Cody shoulder first to the post.
Uh-oh.
Who's gonna count? Where's
Go get a chair, Owens.
Officials down. Kevin Owens outside the ring. Oh, wait a minute. Kyle's out of steel chair. The question is, will he pull the trigger now? The ref is down. He's thinking to himself he can get away with it. He does pull the trigger. He misses.
Another Cody cutter coming. Boom.
now is Rhodes gonna use the chair?
Nope. He's gonna go for a crossroads, maybe. Oh, he's gonna crossroads him on the chair. Oh! Please tell me the referee doesn't wake back up. And now he doesn't have a ref. Oh no. Okay. I can't say I'm surprised, just disappointed. Kevin Owens is going to be frustrated, guys. Yeah, he is.
It backfired and used against him. It allows Rhodes to retain the championship.
But he didn't use the chair. Who did use it? Rhodes. Call it like it is. The guy who used the chair was
Cody Rhodes wins. I mean, that's okay.
As we take another look at the closing moments of the match, the first Charles Robinson, the official knockdown.
you call it take advantage. I call it cheat.
Nonetheless, no refs would see anything because Iyo Sky gets taken out. And in a chair just so happens to be.
Crazy.
Let's make that clear. It has been an incredible night here tonight. The Nassau Coliseum on Long Island here on NBC. It was a dream come true for Pat McIntyre to be able to work with Jesse the Body.
I'll tell you guys, it was absolutely my pleasure to be here with you tonight, and I look forward to San Antonio.
We cannot wait. Meanwhile, the celebration for the undisputed WWE champion, Cody Rhodes, is underway. Cody Rhodes reigns supreme.
Well, I mean, the one good thing I will say about this is that Owens is going to have grounds for possibly doing this again.
What a night. What an honor. What a dream. What a chance.
And you could book a match for the Royal Rumble, triple threat maybe. But now that Cody has just flat out won this, that's kind of surprising. And I was expecting a few more surprises than we got tonight. I still don't think this was a bad show, but I wanted something major to happen. Exactly, Chris. A whole lot of nothing happened tonight. Is pretty much how that felt. Well, okay. The discussion around this match is going to be insufferable. Yeah, I have a feeling maybe social media. What's Twitter doing right now? They shitting their pampers? They pooping their panties about this? Probably, but I do think most fans are going to consider this a lackluster show, and they would not be wrong because, it kind of was. So let's just do a quick regroup here. I'm going to get myself a fresh beverage because we're going to stick around here and review this and do kind of a podcast. I'm not going away long, just 20 seconds here. I'll be right back. Just going to get a bottle of water and regroup so we can start talking about what we're going to get into tonight. So please stick around. All right on, guys. Yeah, we are here. We are back. All right, well, start hitting me with your comments about the show in the chat. Let me know your grades, A, B, C, or D, 1 through 10, and give me your overall thoughts on the show. But I think a lot of it is going to, we're going to hear a lot of the same things from fans tonight as it relates to the show. Pardon me while we get set up here. I think it was good, but I was just hoping for, a little bit more. All right, we are back here. Let me get my self situated here. Right on. Thanks for hanging around, guys. We're just going to do a quick little, let me just do a re-intro here so I can find this in case I need to edit it later. Just bear with me 2 seconds. Here we go. Saturday night's main event is in the books. What's going on, guys? Good mic work back at you. It's the same stream. We've been here for a while watching the show together. As you guys know, we had a fun watch along watching SNME tonight, the return of Saturday night's main event. And I was really hoping for some big things to go down on the show. We did not really get that, but it was still just a nice, fun, nostalgic night of wrestling anyway, because we had a lot of retro looks to the show. We had the return of Jesse the Body Ventura. And even though tonight's show was a lot of fun, I really was hoping for something major, a major title change. And I have been pitching for weeks now. This idea that Kevin Owens beats Cody Rhodes and they kind of pay tribute or homage to the 1988 main event when Andre the Giant beat Hulk Hogan on the first night of the Winged Eagle title's existence, pulled off the heist of the century with the twin referees and all of that. And I kind of thought that it would be really fun, since Saturday night's main event is now back, to start them off with a bang and do something like that. And I've felt for years that it's been criminal that Kevin Owens has not been world champion in 8 years. And what a way to make that up to him than to give him the title on network television on a Saturday night's main event and have him do something that hasn't been done in 36 years since Andre the Giant did it. And I just saw really no downside to that. But unfortunately, that was not to be. I've known that for weeks, that this pipe dream was just that, a pipe dream. I did not really think there was a good chance that that would happen, but I felt like it was a good idea. And it would have been fun for the fans if we would have gotten something major like that tonight. But they had a lot to cram in. This was a 2-hour show, and they had 5 matches. It's a 2-hour show with commercials that they have 5 major matches scheduled. And I was wondering how they were going to get it all in, but they did. They achieved it. And they timed everything out perfectly, and it all fit in, but it didn't really leave you a ton of room for other stuff. There were some things on Saturday night's main event tonight that I was hoping to see that we did not. Number one, the pre-show rundown. Before Saturday night's main event starts, you get the green screen promos there from each wrestler talking about their match, about 15, 20 seconds each. And also, before each match, you would get the backstage sparkly curtain interviews with Mean Gene and whoever the fuck. And I was hoping they would bring that back tonight as well. We didn't see either of those. We did see the incorporation of both Saturday night's main event theme songs, which we expected, Animotion and also, or Obsession by Animotion, and also the homegrown version that I believe Jim Johnson created, which is excellent. And they did use both of those tonight. We had the red, white, and blue ropes this evening as well. And Jesse the Body Ventura sat in on commentary for the main event. And they had a podium set up off from the entranceway there, where they had Jesse and Joe Tessitore welcome us to the show. So we got to see Jesse a couple of times in that setting, and then he was on the call for the main event. I also very, very much liked the entrance. Another kind of minimalist set here. They had an entrance that kind of resembled the old neon light entrance from like the early 90s and the early days of Monday Night Raw. It kind of looked like that. And then the entrance way itself just used the old school like silver steel guardrails. And then when you got around to the perimeter of the ring area, you had the LED barricades and whatnot. So it was kind of a mix of an old school show and how modern WWE shows look. And of course, the red, white, and blue ropes tied it all together. And it was awesome. And it was in the Nassau Coliseum where the very first Saturday night's main event was. They even had a banner kind of, I think it was an LED screen, but kind of in the same spot where the banner was in that first episode. Little things like that I noticed. Joe Tessitore, when he was introducing us to Jesse the Body Ventura, mentioned that he's wearing the red bow tie as a tribute to Mean Gene Okerlund, when it was Vince McMahon that tended to wear the bow tie, not Mean Gene. Well, Mean Gene wore the black bow tie, but Mean Gene has wore a red bow tie before, but usually when you see Gene, he's got a black one on. Vince is the one that usually wore the red, and I thought that was funny that Joe Tessitore goes, I'm wearing the red bow tie for Gene. I'm like, actually, you know how fans love to say that. Well, actually, you're wearing it for Vince, but that's okay. Joe Tessitore is phenomenal, and I don't expect him to have the wrestling knowledge of a psycho-obsessed wrestling nerd like moi. So it's all good. Overall, just nice to see this brought back. Granted, it didn't come on in place of Saturday Night Live. It came on more prime time, 5 o'clock in the afternoon here for me on the West Coast. So, you know, the time was different and everything, but I really felt like when they have resurrected Saturday night's main event in the past, specifically those shows they did in like 2008 or 2009, whenever that was, I really found those just to not be interesting, and they didn't feel like authentic Saturday night's main events. They felt like the cash grab or just whatever. They got a deal with USA. Let's stick a couple shows on NBC. Their heart wasn't into it, you know? And this felt a little bit better. The whole build up to it and the whole thing in the meeting with Triple H and Cody, where he opened up the case and you see the gold and you know it's going to be the Winged Eagle title. So with all of that effort put in, I was hoping that we would get, you know, some sort of a major development or major swerve or major title change or major surprise. And we didn't really get that. So it's, you know, it's kind of a mixed bag, mixed feelings on the show. Love the nostalgia aspect, love looking forward to the show, love the matches that were on tap. Was just hoping for maybe a tiny bit more, but it's not like there wasn't anything to like on the show. You know, with Chelsea Green winning the United States Championship. The opening match was fun. And like I said, just the overall vibe was fun. It was an easy watch, 2 hours with commercials. It's not like it bored the shit out of us. And it was fun. And that's what it's all about at the end of the day, is fun. So I'm not going to crap on the show, but I'm definitely going to admit that I was hoping for more. So we will talk about it here tonight. And by the way, we have a lot to get into, as you might imagine, because this is normally the day where we do our podcast, but we didn't do a podcast today. So I've got some notes. We're going to talk about Saturday night's main event here. And then we're also going to get into some wrestling news. We're going to talk about that Logan Paul retiring news. We're going to talk about Drew McIntyre's appearance on the Busted Open Radio holiday party. We're going to talk about Tessa Blanchard showing up in TNA last night. Also, we're going to talk about the latest with Rey Fenix and AEW. And where's my last? There it is. Luchasaurus. Also, update on Luchasaurus. And we'll touch on a little bit of SmackDown last night, even though it was technically a go-home show. It's a little bit obsolete. A couple of things did go down on that show, including a big challenge for the January 6th Netflix Raw. So we'll talk a little bit about last night's SmackDown. We also had Braun Strowman coming back and a couple of other things happening. And we'll talk a little bit about AEW. A couple of matches took place on Dynamite. We'll see what the standings are currently with the Continental Classic. and we'll run through what World's End is looking like. That's kind of what we're going to do this evening on kind of a half-ass Winged Eagle, half-ass Saturday Night's Greg event podcast here, following our SNME watch-along, and it was a lot of fun, and thanks again to everybody who was here hanging out for that. Before we get going, let me knock out a couple of these super chats here before we get into it. And again, thank you to everyone who've been here with us for the past couple of hours watching the show. Chris Ludek, thanks for that too. Yeah, talking about nothing really happened tonight. Meh ending felt very rushed. It kind of was lackluster. So yeah, you guys are kind of in agreement with what I'd expect and how I feel. I think we are all kind of on the same page with this one. And Ronnie, I mean, I liked the show. I did like the show. I liked it a hell of a lot better than the ones they tried 12, 13 years ago that I thought were just dog shit. This one was cool. It was fun. Effort was put into it. And it gave me, you know, some warm and fuzzies about being a kid again, because I have a lot of fond memories of Saturday Night's Main Events and watching these. I watched most of them, you know, as they aired. And there's nothing quite like sitting in a dark living room late at night on the weekend with all the lights off, watching wrestling, sitting on the floor, eating a snack. You know, you can't touch that, you know? And so that's why I tend to give a show like this a pass, because there was a lot of, you know, memories, you know, that I had and feelings that were fun to reminisce about. So, and you're probably right. Cody is probably heading into WrestleMania 41 as champ, which could be trouble, and we'll talk about that. Ryan Adams, thanks for the 5. People are at the show saying Owens attacked Cody after the show and Cody is being stretchered out. Okay. He hit a package pile driver on Cody. Okay. So Cody got beat down, it sounds like, by Owens. So this thing isn't over yet. This thing is not over yet. The way they set up that finish with the 2 ref bumps, and then Owen, you know, and Owens had Cody beat first, and then Cody had him beat both times. Refs were down. And then we had the crossroads on the chair for the win. So they left enough open there to where you could totally revisit this again, and they probably will, either for the next Saturday Night's Main Event or the Royal Rumble. But here's the thing. We need to think about this now. And I know you're going to be like, Greg, goddammit, Cody won, so shut up. But no, after what we see here happen between these guys, Owens now injuring and stretchering out 2 men, Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. Let's say, hypothetically, Nick Aldis books a triple threat match or books a rematch at the next Saturday Night's Main Event with Owens. And well, why would you shit? I was about to say, why would you grant Owens a rematch after he injured your champion? So Aldis would have to be not in this equation. But my point is, if Owens is still going to win the championship, maybe WWE does have plans for him to win it going into WrestleMania, you wouldn't necessarily want to do it at the Rumble, because you would probably want Cody in the Rumble. So Owens might win the title at the next Saturday Night's Main Event right before the Rumble, and then Cody can be in the Rumble. I don't know. But what Owens did to Cody following the match sounds like they are not done. So there is still hope, because Cody cannot hold that belt forever. And I think if he holds on to it too long, Triple H is not stupid. He can't be this stupid. So Cody needs to kind of drop that and then regain it, you know, at some point. And that's why I feel like if he carries that thing into WrestleMania and then goes beyond WrestleMania with the title, it's going to be Cena and Roman all over again, because the fans are predictable as fucking gravity. So I don't want to see that. I think it's best if he drops it. Hey, Owen likes comics. It's good to see you. Thanks for stopping in and saying hello. Fun show overall. Definitely more of a house show than a PLE, agree. But as a TV special designed to showcase WWE to casual lapsed viewers, I think it did a very solid job. So did I. And that was my problem with some of those earlier versions of it. That one show where like Austin came out and stunned all the McMahons. I'm like, what are we doing here? You know, and it just felt like WWE understands that they have more of a casual audience maybe watching them, which is exactly why I thought something major should go down, just to show those people, hey, you might want to tune back into wrestling because crazy shit is happening. But it was not to be. Not to be at all. Yeah, Shell Shock. Owens likes comics is up in here. Yeah, we're big fans of Owen over here. Juliet, thank you for gifting out a membership to Joe Shepis. Welcome to family, Joe. Good to see Death Shot Society in here. Sort of a house show vibe, but fun. Exactly. Screw Tessa Blanchard. Yes. Yeah, that Owens hitting the package pile driver on Cody after the show, that's a big deal. So that means... Okay, so I was thinking they were saying Kevin Owens just kind of grabbed the belt. They're saying he took it. Like he has stolen it. Oh, we might actually get it on TV more. Kevin Owens is going to carry that title around, being like, I'm the champion. Oh, that's great. Seeing the Winged Eagle title back on TV again. And he's going to bring it to TV, either to SmackDown or Raw. Oh, hell yes. Hell yes. Hell yes. I'm very, very much into that. Well, that's an interesting development there. Anyway, let's review the show. Let's talk about tonight's Saturday night's main event. Let me get the chat pulled up over here so I can look at my notes and y'all at the same time. There we go. All right. There we are, locked and loaded here. Right on. Well, Saturday night's main event, like I said, opened up with a nice video package. Very cool, kind of retro style intro with Cody as the final image instead of, Hogan or Savage back in the day. And they did open up with Joe Tessitore and Jesse Ventura kind of doing a little podium deal off from the entranceway there. They introduced Jesse and kind of ran through what we were going to see. And we opened up with Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn. Only a 10-minute match here. Not really that long. Drew McIntyre claymored Sami Zayn and beat him clean. And McIntyre now is on a mission. He's breathed new life into himself here. Showed up on SmackDown last night, attacked Jimmy Uso, and seems to be, kind of on the rampage. And they're trying to figure out what, kind of his storyline is going to be going into WrestleMania. And it sounds like he does have a lot of the same issues with some of these baby faces that Kevin Owens does. So Owens and McIntyre, I think, both make really good heels that make sense in their arguments and who are right and aren't just, your run-of-the-mill, bullshit and chicken shit assholes. They actually, they've got an argument here. If they went to court and litigated this in front of a jury, they might win. So I like that about them. And McIntyre putting down Sami Zayn. I would love to see Sami and Kevin Owens wrestle for the championship at WrestleMania. I would love that. If Kevin Owens wins the title next month, takes it into WrestleMania, drops it to Sami, oh, that would be so good. But that's probably not going to happen. Match number 2 kind of got spoiled right after we realized it was match number 2. A lot of fans had Iyo Sky picking up the belt here. And I agreed that could happen, and it would be very cool if it did, because Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley's, issue, is run so deep and so long now that, you could pay that off and do a blow off with those two without the championship. But I think the story has always been Liv taking the title off Becky after Rhea got injured, and now Rhea trying to get it back from Liv. So you should pay that off, but after what they did on Monday with the stare down with Rhea Ripley and Iyo Sky, I'm like, oh, that would be great at WrestleMania. And that could still happen. But when this match came out second, I'm like, would they change the title here? Would they dethrone Liv and put the belt on Iyo Sky before they crown Chelsea as the new U.S. champ? You know what I mean? I feel like one would overshadow the other. And they might not want to have two brand new women's champions, albeit they're on separate shows right now, two brand new women's champions on the same show, just as to make sure one person gets the maximum spotlight. And if Iyo were to beat Liv Morgan, I would want that to be something that I remember, not forgotten about an hour later when Chelsea wins. So I had my suspicions. Plus, Liv Morgan's body language, she was walking out there like she was winning. And it's kind of easy to tell sometimes when somebody's going to lose. You can just tell. And I did not get that vibe at all from Iyo. And we got a little bit of, I guess Raquel wasn't even out there. This was virtually a clean win. Jog my memory here. We didn't see too much crazy shit happen. It was an oblivion for the win, right? And I don't recall too much outside stuff happening. I don't even remember if Raquel was out there, not to be honest. But it was Liv putting down Iyo, oblivion for the win, retains the title. I'm not upset about that at all, because the more people were holding on to the titles tonight, the more I thought Kevin Owens had a chance, because we did hear some rumblings that WWE was planning to do something pretty big tonight. And some of those rumors that we heard CM Punk was in the area tonight. We heard Charlotte Flair could be debuting or returning anytime. That's why she's on our overlay here. I was expecting to see her tonight. And plus, championship changes and whatnot, I was holding out hope that Liv retaining meant that possibility for later. And plus, since we know we're going to get a brand new U.S. title, in the women's division. So Liv Morgan getting the win here, I'm actually fine with. Now she can resume that story with Rhea Ripley and get that thing paid off whenever it's going to be. I had pitched a Hell in the Cell match on the January 6th Raw. That could still happen. That's 3 weeks away, so there's no reason why you couldn't put that together for Raw, but I think that story needs to pay itself off, and I would not be surprised if they just do it on Raw, where Rhea Ripley just beats Liv Morgan for the title right there and just end the whole thing. But then again, Liv's done a pretty good job, definitely in the conversation for Women's Wrestler of the Year, for sure. So, maybe you don't want to end it that unceremoniously for her, but at the same time, Rhea is going to have to get back to that belt at some point. So we'll see where they go, but Liv retains here against Iyo Sky. Third matchup was Gunther defending his World Heavyweight Championship in a triple threat against Damian Priest and Finn Balor. I thought with the addition of the triple threat, late in the game like that they might take the belt off of Gunther here. We heard rumors this week about Finn Balor being set for a big push in 2025. If that's true, that's awesome. And if that was true, they might get it started here. So if you're going to take the belt off of Gunther, you're likely going to want to protect him, and a triple threat is a good way to do that. But in the end, it was Gunther just being the Gunther that we know. I loved it. A little, maybe not the same, but it had somewhat shades of the Gunther, Sheamus, and Drew match from Mania 39 a couple years ago when, just Gunther just wiped those two out. And the finish was just so superhuman. Gunther has got Priest on the outside of the ring, and he goes to powerbomb him. The steps are broken apart in half, and he goes to powerbomb Priest, but Priest's heel gets caught under the steps, and he can't kind of get him up, and so it kind of stops the powerbomb and in mid move there, and Gunther just muscles Priest up, who's not a light boy, muscles him right up after kind of botching the first attempt and just slams him, powerbombs him right down on those steps. It was great. And then as soon as that was, he powerbombed him, he hopped right up, went right in the ring, grabbed Balor, powerbombed him, pinned Balor for the win, and a very big statement win there by Gunther, beating those two. And I'm glad. I didn't want to see Gunther lose the title really, but I am intrigued about the idea of Finn Balor being world champion again. So I was thinking, well, if they want to kick it off here, I'm not going to complain, but I think Gunther remaining champion is probably the best way to go for tonight. And he did win, and that made me perfectly happy. Wasn't upset in the slightest about that. And then it was time for Chelsea Green and Michin. I was so confident that Chelsea Green would win the United States title. I stuck her here on my overlay with the belt. I'm like, she better not lose because she's the odds-on favorite. And she was the heel going into this match. Michin is the babyface, but you would not know it from the crowd. The crowd was 100% behind Chelsea Green, and we're booing Michin a lot when she was getting some offense in. So we got an interesting update there from Ryan Adams. Oh my God, Triple H and Owens are face-to-face yelling and shoving each other. Where is this happening? On social media? But Michin was really being heavily booed. The fans, we at home watched it or wanted it. Everybody on social media wanted it. Internet fans, at-home fans, casual fans, and everybody in the Nassau Coliseum were very behind Chelsea Green, who came out there wearing a white outfit with pictures of herself all over it. And in the end, it was the unpretty. I think it was a top rope or second rope, unprettier for the win there on Michin. Pretty awesome. Or was that I think it was a top rope one. But she put down Michin, wins the United States title. The fans loved it. And she is the inaugural Women's United States champion. And she will be the woman whose name is etched in that title lineage first. That is a big deal. I'm hoping that Natalya gets that honor for the Intercontinental Championship on Raw. But Chelsea has really worked for this. She's earned it. And I'm glad that she won the championship. She's going to be a lot of fun. We did have Piper Niven out there. She was involved a little bit. Michin gave Piper her finisher on the floor to kind of neutralize her. But in the end, it was Chelsea taking advantage, capitalizing with the unprettier for the win. And she is the first ever Women's United States champion. congrats to Chelsea Green. We're crazy happy for her. Yeah, Ryan was updating us here about that Triple H and Kevin Owens stuff. We'll talk about that in a minute. Tomas Aridia, good to see you, man. Appreciate that 5. Chelsea Green is the definition of long-term storytelling, and booking is better than instant gratification. So happy for her. Me too. She was great. I'm so happy she won that belt. I think fans would have rioted if she would have lost. It was definitely her time. Her time for sure. Okay, thanks. So I'm going to check out this video real quick that we've been tagged in here. Apparently, Triple H and Owens getting physical. Oh, yeah, Owens has got the winged eagle. Triple H is coming from behind Owens. Oh. Wow, oh, yeah. A little shove in there. So apparently after the match, Kevin Owens destroyed Cody Rhodes, hit him with a package pile driver. He had to be stretchered out. He steals the Winged Eagle title. And now Triple H is coming, and they are pushing and shoving each other. Now remember, Kevin Owens headbutted Vince McMahon, remember? Okay, cool. Well, that angle is continuing then, as Owens took out Cody. That's interesting stuff, and I like it. I like it a lot. So anyway, Chelsea Green is your new United States champion, and that left us with the main event. Cody Rhodes defending the undisputed WWE Championship against Kevin Owens, and as promised, Cody Rhodes, after Kevin Owens comes out first, by the way, wearing a Dusty Rhodes t-shirt with his own face taped over top of it. And I think it said the Canadian Dream Kevin Owens. And earlier in the day, he was spotted wearing a Goldust shirt. And last night on SmackDown, he was wearing a Stardust shirt when he was beating the shit out of Cody. So Owens is the best. Owens has got great t-shirt game. And then Cody came out to his theme song. You could tell right away with his robe that he's got that winged eagle under that robe. And when he does the whoa thing, he opens it up. It looked great. Looked great on Cody. Looked really good on Cody. And gets in the ring. They do the introduction. So Cody continues to wear the Winged Eagle belt, which I just miss tremendously. I really wish it was still the championship that they use. But unfortunately, branding is a big deal to them. And they need to have that WWE logo front and center, since their championship belts do often find their way into the hands of professional sports teams and championship teams and whatnot. So you got to have your branding there. I get it. But that Winged Eagle title is so beautiful. I've got 2 of them. Named my podcast after it. And we've got one right there. And we've got one on the wall back there. And we got one hanging up on the overlay here. We're big fans of the Winged Eagle title here at Good Micro Commentaries, in case you haven't known. Or in case you didn't know. So the belt looked great, but it did appear to be a replica. It definitely was not one of the old ones they got in the warehouse that Brett wore or Hogan wore. I'm sure Brett owns a couple of those, or he has a couple, but I'm sure WWE's kept a couple around from the old days. So why couldn't you get one of the old Winged Eagle, like the real one? This was a replica. Cody was wearing the same bullshit that's hanging up on the wall back there. So I didn't really love that aspect of it. Even the leather strap, you could, like the old belts, the leather was very, like very movable and stuff. And this is kind of stiff in the way it bent. It kind of looked like a weight belt. And so you could tell that it was just a replica and not, a nice, worn in, like the old Winged Eagle is like a nice worn in, catcher's mitt, or baseball mitt, the way the leather kind of just gets soft. And this one was just way too replica-y looking for me, but beggars can't be choosers. We got the Winged Eagle back with the black strap, nothing dumb like purple or white or anything. And so whatever, what do I care if it's a replica or not? So Cody did in fact come out with the Winged Eagle. We did the introductions and we had about 15 minutes to get this match done. And that was it. And Jesse the Body Ventura did sit on the call for this. And he was good. Like, he still got the Jesse voice. He doesn't seem like he knows dick about the product these days, but he knew enough, to, admonish Cody for picking a body part. And a normal wrestler would have been knocked out from that, but he kicked out. Some of his old Jesse-isms he kind of brought back, and he still understands, how to call a wrestling match. Even put himself over, paving the way for Pat McAfee, who is also part of the show tonight, and Michael Cole, who did the announcing. I should have mentioned Pat earlier. I forgot to. So Match now is underway. They don't have a whole lot of time here. It's only, they only have 12-ish minutes, to kind of get this done. And we get an early ref bump. Charles Robinson goes down. By the way, the referees were wearing the powder blue and the black bow ties. I should have mentioned that as well. So I think it's Owens who pushed Cody into the referee, into Robinson. That's what happened, right? And so Charles goes down. Owens then hits a stunner on Cody and has him pinned, but there's no referee. So then another referee runs in there, but then it's too late. Cody kicks out, and then that referee takes a bump. So when that referee goes down, I think Owens hits Cody with the crossroads or whatever, and he's got Owens pinned. So Owens had Cody pinned with the first ref down. Now Owens has Cody pinned with the second ref down. Then Owens decides to go out and get a steel chair. Cody is able to turn the tables on Kevin Owens and ends up hitting him with a crossroads onto the chair that Kevin Owens brought into the ring. And as he covers him, Charles Robinson comes to from the outside of the ring and stands on the outside of the ring and counts like through the ropes. 1, 2, 3. And a very underwhelming 3 count. I'm like, I was really hoping for Kevin Owens to win the title there. Cody just simply retained. However, that brief disappointment that I might have felt sounds like there is still some hope for Kevin Owens yet, because when the match was over, after the show went off the air, everybody started talking about it in the chat. Apparently, Kevin Owens attacked Cody Rhodes after the match and hit him with a package pile driver, which we don't really see in WWE. And they had to stretcher Cody Rhodes out. Kevin Owens then took control and possession of the Winged Eagle Championship and has stole it. So now he done stole the thing. And as he's walking off through the entranceway, a bunch of fan cams caught footage of him and Triple H literally pushing and shoving each other in the entranceway right before you go back to Gorilla. So there is way more to get done here with these two. It sounds like there's probably going to be another match. We did not see Randy Orton tonight like we thought we could see. We did not see Charlotte tonight. We did not see CM Punk tonight. Thought all 3 of them could make some sort of an appearance. None of them were there. But for the purposes of the main event, Randy Orton was the only one I was expecting to maybe see. He could be involved in the finish. That might be fun, but we didn't get any of that. So we will have to see now what they do, moving into the new year, or if they try to really beef up that Raw on Netflix show on January 6th, because that is going to be a 3-hour show, and they're not going to have, too many of the same, confinements that they have like going on NBC. They can make it long. They can turn it into a damn pay-per-view if they wanted to. So you could rebook Cody and Kevin using the transfer window thing or whatever on Raw if you wanted for the title, and maybe Kevin Owens wins the title on Raw or something. I don't know. But I am not giving up hope that Kevin Owens will win the championship, because I think he has to. I just cannot see Kevin Owens not winning the title again. But granted, there's a lot going on this year. Cena's coming back. Goldberg's going to come back in. There's a lot of, I would love Goldberg's final match to be against Kevin Owens. Think of the poeticness of that. Think if Kevin Owens wins the title this year. He beats Cody at some point. Who knows when, if this is after WrestleMania, before WrestleMania, whatever. And then Goldberg has his retirement match. Instead of it being Gunther, why not it be Kevin Owens, who Goldberg beat for the championship all those years ago? Pissed all of us off. So how about Owens retires Goldberg? That's what I would do. It's probably not going to be that. It's going to be Gunther, but I think Owens would be more fun. But either way, I think based on how Kevin Owens, even though he's not winning the championship, he's dropped a couple of matches and lost to Cody here, I still feel somewhat confident that there's a really good chance he will win a championship this year. One of the world titles. He really needs to. And him and Sami Zayn could be heading for a major, major feud in 2025 once all of this stuff runs its course. So we will see. Overall, if I had to grade tonight's Saturday night's main event, I would give the show a C+. 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 Would have gotten an A or a B if we would have seen Owens win the championship. That would have been nice, but you can't have everything. Cody versus Orton for the title is looking likely, Daniel. Definitely is. Triple H will be the special guest ref for Cody and KO. I don't think he can. I don't think he can be physical. I don't think Triple H can really do that. He could do the match without taking a bump, but you would think that some physicality would likely happen. One of these guys headbutted Vince at one time, remember? So I think Triple H might... I think Triple H is more the type of guy that would bring somebody in, you know, to ref instead of himself doing it. I'm certainly he can find somebody that he would trust to manage that situation as much as himself. So I'm not sure. I don't think Triple H is going to do too much of that. Although the pushing and shoving with Kevin Owens is very interesting. The fact that did happen. This isn't the beginning of Triple H having one more retirement match, is it? He didn't get briefly cleared by doctors to have one match at WrestleMania, did he? I hope not. I doubt he did. So anyway, that is a wrap on Saturday night's main event. Why don't we talk about some other stuff? We've got some wrestling news to get into. We'll start with Logan Paul. Logan Paul on the latest Impulsive podcast, a podcast that I will never listen to. The only time I will ever listen to it is when I see a clip of it on social media, if he has a wrestler on there, or if Logan Paul says something significant, which is very rarely. But he kind of offhandedly mentioned, almost like in just a passing by comment, that he is retired. They brought up WrestleMania. Hey, you're going to be at WrestleMania? No, I'm retired, bro. I'm a dad now. And then I think his co-host kind of chimed in and was like, he's taking time off. So Logan Paul claims he's retired. That would be great if Logan Paul just wasn't around pro wrestling anymore. We don't need him. I don't need him around. He's a fucking douchebag. But I certainly don't believe he's retired for good because he's very good in the ring. And pro wrestling, he fit into pro wrestling like, round peg in a round hole. It was just perfect for it. And he does have a multi-year deal with WWE, plus his shitty vitamin water is plastered all over everything. So I don't think Logan Paul is gone for good, but he might be gone for the year. You know, he might not pop back up for another year or so. Or he surprises us and shows up and has something to do at WrestleMania. That's also very possible. But either way, he's not around right now, and that's what matters. So that's all I really care about. We'll keep our eye on him. I saw a little bit of the Drew McIntyre stuff. I guess he was a guest on the Busted Open Radio holiday party, and somebody asked him a question about online fans or something, and he just got really over emotional and really just kind of went off on internet wrestling fans and how much he has sacrificed and got really, really emotional. It was really, really well done. Now, this is a total work, but if you didn't know that, then this might have felt pretty genuine or legit. And I think it was really good, and the more he talks, he's not like screaming and yelling. He's not like cutting a promo. He really sounded like he was speaking from the heart and his frustrations and how he feels about wrestling fans and why he took time off and distanced himself from social media after Hell in the Cell and that type of stuff. It all sounded and felt very genuine from his perspective. And then he got up and just stormed off. And just, I can't do this. And I can't do this anymore. And he just walked off. And then later on, there's clips of it floating around social media. And he quote tweets it and was like, fuck you for making me do this. So this is all kind of playing into what his current character's motivations are on television and stuff. And it was done very well. So we had a feeling that after that Hell in the Cell match, he's going to come back different. There's going to be something different about him because you can't just come back from something like that and pretend like nothing happened. So he was going to be different in some way. And he's adopted a little even more of a killer instinct, if that's possible, it feels like. And he put down Sami Zayn with somewhat ease tonight on Saturday night's main event. So we'll see where everything goes with Drew. He might just be permanently moved over SmackDown. It sounds like the Bloodline angle is going to be moved over to Raw once the new year starts. So I don't know if McIntyre is going to be on the same show as Roman, and we're going to revisit that or what he's going to do. But for now, he's doing a good job of blurring the lines, between reality and fiction, and it was pretty cool. Here's something that's not cool. TNA Wrestling, for some reason, has brought back Tessa Blanchard. she showed up at their event last night. What the hell was it? Was it a pay-per-view? What the hell was it last night? But she turned up and attacked Jordynne Grace. And this is a baffling decision to me, bringing back Tessa Blanchard. It's been 5 years. It was January of 2020 when Tessa tweeted out, quote, "Hey, women, try supporting each other. Good things will happen." And that was immediately met with a ass ton of backlash and a lot of wrestlers, women wrestlers, calling her out for her bullying and her racism. It was the likes of Chelsea Green, Isla Dawn, Allison Kay, Priscilla Kelly, aka Gigi Dolan, and a few others who called her out for her bullying and her shitty behavior and what a fucking rotten woman she is. And it was the biggest self-inflicted gunshot wound I've ever seen. She completely did this to herself. If she just would have shut up and not tweeted anything, but she tweeted probably the most hypocritical thing that she could tweet, and she got called out for it, rightfully so. And then the floodgates opened, and all of a sudden you hear about all these other stories and her spitting in people's face and using the N-word in Japan and all these other horror stories that other women are corroborating and backing up. It's not like, she's being unjustifiably Me Too'd here or something. These are things that she was doing, and women are like, no, she's a piece of shit. And so she kind of got blacklisted there for a while. She's been virtually invisible for the past 5 years. And reports surfaced earlier this week from Fightful Select, I think on Thursday, that she was headed back to the company. This is before her debut. So here's what they said just a day before she came back. It says Fightful had spoken to talent in AEW, WWE, and TNA on Thursday, and many were in disbelief that the company was moving in that direction. The news was kept away from the entire roster as of the time of the details emerging, and even many of the staff who are usually in the know were told that this was done intentionally as there were fear of backlash internally. Yeah, you think? There are some people that remain with the company that have remained friends with Tessa, but one person in the know said that the hope is that there's enough new talent to work with that they haven't soured on her. Another source believes Blanchard will be on, quote, best behavior, and this is a major opportunity. We're told that the plan has been in motion for at least 2 weeks, and the decision was a top person in Anthem. The decision was made by a top person in Anthem, and they were warned against that by others in the company. It is not the work of new Anthem president Carlos Silva, who just joined the company, I think, this week. The plan is to have Tessa Blanchard involved by next month, where she's slated to work against Jordynne Grace, who she attacked last night, and we're told that Jordynne Grace had pushed back on working with Blanchard. And the current plan is for Blanchard to come into the company as a heel. So she's back. I saw her debut last night. She looked good, but she is a piece of shit. And I just think that, it's been 5 years. If she is reformed now, if she has changed her ways, it's not like wrestling is scared of doing business with pieces of shit. It's very common. There's a lot of people with accusations, some of them sexual assault, some racism. I mean, WWE still touches Hulk Hogan, which is wild, with how many fucked up things he's done and said. So there's some extremely sketchy personalities in the Hall of Fame. So pro wrestling and shitty human beings, they're peanut butter and jelly. It's very common to go hand in hand. Think of all the chances Teddy Hart got, before he was finally pushed out for good. So wrestling just has its pieces of shit. And if you have enough to offer, sometimes those pieces of shit can get multiple opportunities. Tessa Blanchard was on pace to be a history maker before all this shit hit the fan. She probably would have headed to WWE or something. She even won the TNA championship, the men's championship in the company before she, disappeared there. And now she is back. And with a lot of polarizing people, we've talked about this with CM Punk, even coming into WWE. I was the one that spoke up right from the beginning and said, CM Punk, he may be all of the things that we have said, but if he wants his legacy to be remembered as anything other than a complete fucking catastrophe at the end, then he has no choice but to be on his best behavior. And I believe that he would. I think he's going to come into WWE being so happy to be away from AEW that all of those past feelings, he's got new things to hate now. So that's water under the bridge. And if he wants his legacy and wrestling career to be remembered positively, this run in the WWE is extremely crucial to that. So he needs to be on his best behavior. And if Tessa Blanchard wants to have any plans to have a career in wrestling and maybe, go to WWE, that would be wild, but WWE does have a working agreement with TNA. So, they might touch her. Then she's going to have to be on her best behavior too. Props to Jordynne Grace for speaking up and saying no. But she wound up working with her anyway because she got attacked by Tessa. And I even saw Jordynne Grace's promo from backstage after the attack where she called her like a piece of shit. So that can be good because there's probably some real life feelings there. So we will see with Tessa. I don't like her. Those are those stories that we've heard, and especially when she ran her mouth on social media and you had people like Chelsea Green and others, speaking up, giving specific examples of things that she did and behavior that she had, it's fucked up. But I think, especially the racism stuff is really tough to let go of. Somebody being an asshole, that's kind of common, but when you start factoring in N-words to that, then it's like, okay, well, fuck you then, but, CM Punk and others have been accused of being an asshole before and can still coexist, behind the scenes, and fans kind of let shit slide. But there are some things that are just tough to let slide. That's why I'm not going to let anything with Hogan slide. Fuck him. Anybody that's just done anything shitty or racist or murdered somebody or anything like that, I want nothing to do with them around pro wrestling whatsoever. And Tessa I think the business doesn't need her. She's a good talent and everything, but the business is loaded with great female talent. There's great women's wrestlers all over the world, especially these days. My God. So the business and the business women's wrestling will just keep on moving with or without Tessa Blanchard. So we don't need her, but she's here. And I don't watch much TNA anyway. So unless she crosses over into NXT or somehow gets picked up by WWE, I'm just going to pretend that she doesn't exist unless she wins another men's championship or something. So Tessa Blanchard back in TNA. So that's an unpleasant situation. Here's another unpleasant situation. The latest on Rey Fenix and AEW. Rey Fenix, of course, we know what's been going on with him lately. Penta's contract is up. Rey Fenix got injury time added to his. He's got about another 8-ish months left, apparently, on his deal. And he's not happy about it. We reacted in real time a couple of weeks ago, or a week or so ago, whenever that was, to his tweet where he said he was receiving inhumane treatment. And I kind of immediately laughed at that. I'm like, look, I'm sure AEW is going to be in shitheads for not letting you go, but let's not be ridiculous. Inhumane? Are they chaining you to a furnace and routinely whipping you, in the fucking boiler room? Like, what's going on here? What do you mean inhumane? So I thought that was silly, and I thought it was just him being emotional. And I thought that even though there's a lot of blame to go on AEW, a big part of me feels like if they just would not have ran their mouths about going to WWE, maybe none of this would have happened. And when they're talking about plans to go into WWE, talking about creative plans and what they're going to do there, and they're still under contract, you could piss off your boss. And so because of that, Tony Khan added injury time onto Phoenix's deal, which he has every right to do. I just question whether or not that's smart. I'd be focused on the people who are there, team players, want to rock and roll, and if somebody wants to go, just let them go. But at the same time, you have to have principles. Either way, you're going to set a precedent here, regardless of, what you decide. But I just think that if Tony Khan or Triple H comes across a wrestler, especially somebody like Rey Fenix, they're not going to make or break your company. Just cut them loose and let them go. So there's got to be more to it than this with Rey. And also, either way, it's not like he's got 3 years left. We're just talking about months, which still sucks. Don't get me wrong. It's still frustrating, and I don't blame Rey Fenix at all for being frustrated. But it's manageable, And this is something that you can wait out. So that's probably what they're going to have to do unless something gets worked out in the meantime. Now, Fightful Select had an update the other day about this, I think 2 or 3 days ago. Let me read you a little bit of that. Fightful has, I'm just making sure if this other part is pertinent. We're told that that paragraph's not unimportant. All right, here we go. And I quote, Fightful has spoken to numerous sources in AEW who were surprised by Phoenix's tweet tweets, even though the two sides are on the outs. One source admitted there have been long communication issues, but hadn't heard anything that would be construed as inhumane, and had spoken to Phoenix about it. They had heard that Phoenix took issue with a doctor who hadn't cleared him at one point, though context on that wasn't exactly complete. We're still trying to find out we're still trying to find out any additional details on issues Phoenix took with AEW. We did reach out to both he and AEW and haven't heard back. Now, Phoenix also, a couple of days ago, I think tweeted, I asked for a doctor and you ignored me or something like that. So now he's claiming, medical negligence, or he needed some help and they were kind of being wishy-washy about him. I think CM Punk had an issue too as well. And CM Punk had an issue in WWE. Remember the Z-Packs? How he took that fucking doctor to task. So if you get an irritated wrestler, I think that, sometimes the doctors can be a scapegoat. I just don't think that Doc Samson is actively going around AEW trying to put people in danger. If there was some, miscommunication, if there's something that overlooked, then there needs to be accountability for that. But it felt like it was he's not offering any specifics, so this might be something that Phoenix thinks happened that, really didn't, or vice versa. Maybe AEW was thinking it's not a big deal and it was, it just kind of depends. The, Select report goes on to say another AEW source who claimed to be familiar with the matter said that the claims were untrue and that they thought word of AEW, quote, not being upset by the fake WWE news was someone trying to babyface themselves in the situation, as AEW had been upset about word that the Lucha Bros had talks with WWE with plenty of time remaining on their deals. Penta is now a free agent and able to work anywhere, while Rey Fenix's deal had injury time added to it. It should be reiterated that WWE has never commented in any capacity on the duo, but the widespread belief was that they were planned for a WWE run bypassing NXT. Contrary to recent reports, AEW did learn about those alleged talks back in the summer around the time Fightful reported them, and were obviously not happy. So, as of right now, Phoenix's status is up in the air, and there were people within AEW that indicated to Fightful last week that AEW and Tony Khan might actually give Phoenix an early release on his deal. However, since then, we've heard of no update, and one of the sources that indicated that believed almost any outcome sets an unfortunate precedent, and it does, because if you let him out of his contract early, then any wrestler is just going to think they should be let out. But if you don't, then you look like an asshole. It's an unfortunate situation for both. What I'm hoping happens here, because, fans are chomping at the bit. Everybody, there's a very clear Tony Khan derangement syndrome going on out there. Some criticisms are extremely fair and very valid. Some, and many are not. And many are just fans just piling on. And people were pissed that Toni Storm had her match on Rampage last night. I'm like, who fucking cares? She returned on Dynamite. She had a match on Rampage. She had a match tonight on Collision. She's probably booked for Dynamite this Wednesday, and she's likely going to get a world title match at World's End. What is the fucking problem? So I think that with the Tony Khan stuff, it does not matter what the details are here. He's going to be at fault in the fans' minds automatically, blindly, no matter what. And I do agree that he should be letting people go who don't want to be there. So what I'm hoping happens is that we just give it a little bit of time to cool down, give it a month. Nobody talk to the fucking internet, and Tony Khan and Rey Fenix can privately maybe work this thing out via a meeting or some emails or whatever, and say, let's just get this worked out. And Tony Khan will be like, okay, I'm going to let you out of your deal, or I'm going to cut your deal in half. I'm going to let you go in 4 months. Maybe as a way to get, what if he did that? Say, well, I'll let you go in 4 months. Your contract is up in 8. I'm shaving half of the time off. This puts his debut after WrestleMania. At least it keeps him away from WrestleMania. Maybe that's his thought process. Because if I'm Tony Khan, I'm like, I can't be dedicating too much time to thinking about this guy anyway, because he's leaving. So I don't need to focus my energy on someone who's leaving. I need to focus my energy on my product and my company and the wrestlers who are here. So whatever attention he gives to Rey Fenix needs to be minimal. So, I think that once they get whatever they need to do to get worked out, that Tony lets him go with or maybe give him a 60-day no compete or something. I don't know. whatever, some sort of compromise. That's what I'm saying here, compromise. Because I'm sure mistakes were made on both sides. AEW clearly overlooked something with Rey Fenix and his medical treatment or something like that. And then if they really fucked up, then he's got to easy out then. But I think he's just kind of throwing out these just blanket accusations, trying to find something that might get him out of his contract, when I think it's having the opposite effect, because other wrestlers, I think it was Cash Wheeler, who went out of his way recently to tweet his support of the medical staff and how wonderfully they treated him and how they were there for him and supported him and all of this stuff. So, it sounds like wrestlers are seeing this and be like, no, don't be shit talking these guys. They did good for me. Sorry, your situation wasn't great, but it's like, let's not pretend they're like shit doctors or whatnot. So it just depends on what the details are and how much of this shit is actually true. So if Phoenix starts going off and just throws out all of these accusations and we start confirming them one at a time, then I'm going to be 1,000,000% Team Phoenix. That's for sure. But if a lot of this is just him maybe having some maturity issues, I think that was really dumb of them to publicly speak about going to WWE, knowing the effect that could have. That's why I don't understand why the fans are screaming for Tony Khan's head. I'm like, am I the only one that kind of thinks that the Lucha Brothers shot their own selves in the foot here? Clearly, Tony Khan's got some blame too, because I think it's dumb to string someone along, just let them go. But I can also understand this side in this specific situation, and not every situation can be judged the same because situations are different. There could be a piece of talent that's been wonderful, been nothing but a team player, and, contract is coming up in 9 months, wants to leave now, and Tony Khan's been like, yeah, you know what? You've been absolutely wonderful. You sent me a Christmas present. You've been a great company player. We were happy to have you. I don't want you to leave, but I know I can't keep you. So out of respect for you and what you gave to our company, I'll just let you go now. There might be instances like that come up. We're like, okay, let's tear up the contract. Go ahead and go now. And there's others who are like, no, fuck you. We got to keep you around. So it just depends on the situation. And I think it's a lose-lose with Tony Khan, because if he were just to let Rey Fenix talk shit online, inhumane treatment, shitty doctors, whatever else he's bitching about, and then Tony Khan says, okay, you can go, then Tony Khan looks like a pushover. And what have the Tony Khan critics been saying? Pull up your big boy pants. You got to be a leader. You got to be hard. Sounds like that's exactly what he's doing here. Sounds like he's sticking to his guns and saying, no, I'm not going to release you. You publicly, advertise that you're leaving us to go to the competition, and you ran your mouth very unprofessionally. It's in your contract that if you get injured, time gets added on. You signed that. Rey Fenix. So you knew that was a possibility. So why are fans so quick to just automatically say, nope, Tony Khan's head belongs on a stick? I know why, because that's just the energy in the IWC right now. The littlest things, you got to run right to YouTube and make a video. Tony Storm at her first match on Rampage. Let's make a video about how stupid Tony Khan is. I don't have time for that. So with this situation, I'm hoping it just gets resolved, because I don't want to see Penta sit around for 8 months either. So the quicker the Lucha Bros can get to WWE, the better. So I think with Tony Khan, he needs to understand at some point, light bulb needs to go off in his crazy fucking head and say, he ain't staying. They're gone regardless. Either way, the Lucha Brothers are going to WWE. It's up to me if I can just want them to do it now or in 8 months. And I think with Tony Khan, just a little bit of a compromise, some sort of conversation or communication with Rey Fenix, where they work out, or Rey Fenix pleads his case and Tony Khan's like, okay, I'm sorry about that. I wasn't aware that the doctor did that or this. I'll release you. Or, there's an apology made, or I don't want you going on podcasts and start talking shit and making up all these other lies. So maybe there's an NDA involved. You sign an NDA, you're not going to go on podcasts and just rip the company apart. I'll let you go now. I think within the next month, something like that should be worked out, and AEW should be focused on putting this bullshit behind them, because the Lucha Brothers are not going to be AEW's problem anymore. They're going to be WWE's problem. They're going to go to WWE, probably have huge success. And Tony Khan's got enough issues right now in his company that the last thing he needs to do is be devoting attention to somebody who's leaving. So let him leave. That's what I hope happens. So We will see. We want to wish the best also to Luchasaurus, who is reportedly getting better, recovering from his medical crisis there. Brian Alvarez offered an update this week saying that he's getting a lot better. And the medical staff and Tony Khan and AEW have been very, very supportive of his recovery. Apparently, even the week before he collapsed, they sent him home from TV, and it might have been what saved his life. So he's getting better, and that makes me happy because that was kind of a scary thing when, we heard about that episode that he had. So I hope he's on the comeback trail. It'll be great to get him back in the ring because at some point he's going to have to beat the shit out of Christian, and I'm getting tired of waiting. That's kind of it for the news. Just a couple of tidbits on last night's SmackDown because we don't need to really talk about Michin and Chelsea's victories because that thing's already paid off. But we did get the big challenge to Solo Sikoa from Roman Reigns in the form of a video package where he challenges Solo Sikoa to tribal combat for the Ufa Lafa on January 6th, the first Raw on Netflix. So I've been talking about that match that's got to happen soon because it's not going to happen at the Rumble because they need to be in the Rumble. So I had the January 25th Saturday night's main event pegged for the Ufa Lafa match. But it's not. It's going to be Raw instead because now they got that transfer window shit, which just basically means there is no brand extension anymore. It does not mean anything. They're fabricating these make-believe meetings with general managers and talent that gives you the ability to be on a show, even if you're property of another show. It's stupid, but at least it gets all the talent available, and that's good for the quality of the shows, especially since Netflix is paying a lot of money for Raw. They want all the talent at their disposal, and I don't blame them. If I was paying WWE $900 trillion a month for their content for the next 5 years, I would expect a little Roman Reigns on my show too. So that's going to be fun. Roman should retain or regain his property and become the tribal chief once again. And then maybe head into the Rumble to do God knows what, head into the Chamber to do God knows what. Who knows what he's doing at WrestleMania? We might get a trilogy with Roman and Cody. We might get Cody and Rock. I don't know what's going to happen. I really honestly don't. I don't know what Roman's plans are yet for WrestleMania at all. I think a lot of that hinges on The Rock's availability. So that match is now set for Raw on Netflix. Carmelo Hayes was going to be facing a returning superstar. It turned out to be Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman beat him in 90 seconds. So Strowman is back. Now he's back over on SmackDown, and that's fine. LA Knight battled Solo Sikoa. And the reason the Ulafala is now called the Ufa Lafa is because before the match, LA Knight cut a promo where he called it Ufa Lafa, and now I can't stop thinking about it, and it's all I want to call this thing ever again. So if you ever refer to it, it's the Ufa Lafa, okay? On this channel, just remember that, make a note, put a notification in your phone, whatever you have to do. So it's Knight versus Solo Sikoa. This thing ends in a DQ when Jacob Fatu, who was out there and already got put through a table by LA Knight or thrown over the table by LA Knight, resurrects and comes storming into the ring, attacking LA Knight. Ref calls for the bell, disqualification. Andrade and Apollo Crews, who were both victims of the new Bloodline last week, run in to try to help. They get overrun, and the Bloodline decimate LA Knight, Andrade, and Apollo Crews. I'm wondering if we're going to get a six-man or something next week on SmackDown. But Solo Sikoa, you got a big match coming up against Roman Reigns next month in just a couple of weeks. We also had a little conversation backstage where after the opening promo with Jimmy Uso, when he got Claymored and attacked by Drew McIntyre, Aldis instructs McIntyre to go in his office so he can go chew him out. And what was funny is McIntyre's like, okay, and he just agrees with him and he just walks in his office and closes the door, which is funny, like a little kid who's in trouble. And then Bianca and Naomi are there. And I think Aldis is saying something like, I think he's going to strip him of the titles or something. And Naomi chimes in and is like, why don't I just fill in for Jade? And then Aldis is like, okay, I'll talk to upper management or something. So it sounds like Naomi is going to fill in for Jade as one half of the women's tag team champions. And that's starting to look more and more like she was the one that attacked Jade Cargill. Hopefully that will be paid off soon and there's no more funny business or sketchiness going on with Jade Cargill. There was some speculation as to the nature of her injury, or even if she was injured at all, or whatever it was they did with that angle where they wrote her off TV. If it's storyline driven, or if it's injury driven, or if it's both, we don't really know. So that's pretty much all we saw on SmackDown last night, other than the Owens and Cody main event segment and the United States title tournament matches. Pretty decent SmackDown from what we could tell last night. This past week's Dynamite, just a few things to talk about. We're not going to review that whole show, but we did see some more of World's End taking shape, and specifically with the main event, the World Championship match that we're going to see. A lot of people currently gunning for Jon Moxley. So Dynamite opened with a tag match with Mox and Pac. Mox and Pac taking on Orange Cassidy and Jay White. This ended in a no contest when Hangman Page showed up and attacked Jon Moxley. Orange Cassidy did not like that and starts arguing with Hangman. The Death Riders then capitalize and lay everybody out, and we wound up getting a four-way AEW Championship match announced for World's End. Jon Moxley defending against Hangman Page, Orange Cassidy, and Jay White. I'm happy that Jay White is a part of this. Jay White as a babyface now is kind of weird, but it's working. I like Jay White a lot. And I'm glad that he's getting in the mix here a little bit in the world title scene because he did feel a little bit lost in the shuffle there for his first year in the company. So him doing this is good. And now we got a big four-way setup for World's End, which I expect Moxley to win. And I think the payoff is still going to be Darby Allin. But the Death Riders, something big needs to happen in this angle because I feel like the Death Riders does not have a shelf life. This whole hope that we had that Moxley is working for Shane McMahon and there's something bigger at play here. There might still be something bigger with that World Championship. We have not seen the World Championship since he won it. It's been assumingly in the briefcase, although it might not even be in there. So whatever they do at World's End, it would be fun to get some sort of a reveal or something like that kind of added some gasoline to this storyline, because right now I feel like the Hurt Syndicate is a hotter faction than the Death Riders are. The Death Riders are losing matches a lot, and I just don't know. It's not living up to what I was hoping it would, and that tends to be the case in AEW because a couple of months ago when the Bucks turned and they pile drived Tony Khan, or a few months ago, and they started that whole elite thing. I had my doubts, but I was like, I'll give it a shot that they can get some real good heat here, that maybe they have found something. They have found their Austin, found their Goldberg, found their NWO, found their DX, found their Bloodline. Find something like that, some big, huge storyline or something that just captures the wrestling world's attention is what they are in desperate need of. And that fell flat, even though Okada was great as a heel. And there's a lot of fun to be had there in that elite angle. It did not live up to the hype, not even close. I didn't give a rat's ass about Jack Perry. Coolest thing he did was repurpose the TNT title. Other than that, he was a big fat snooze fest. So that failed. So now the Death Riders has come along. I'm like, ooh, if they're teasing Shane McMahon and Moxley's being cryptic in his promos here, and some of the things that he's saying is kind of hinting that there's some bigger, greater power maybe at play here. And that could still be, but man, they're taking a long time to debut this. That's why I doubt that they really have any sort of concrete payoff or end game for this thing. And I guess it's just going to end with Darby taking the title off of Jon Moxley, but Darby Allin is going to be climbing Mount Everest, where apparently he plans on planting an AEW flag, which seems like an appropriate priority. I'd be worried about, not dying. Yeah, not dying would be my first priority. I'd probably keep AEW flag planting down there around number 2. Yeah, not dying flag. Yeah, that's probably the order I'd go there. But he wants to plant a flag up there, so he's not giving up on this Everest dream. He wants to do that. And if I'm Tony Khan, I know this sounds morbid and weird, but if I'm Tony Khan, I'm putting the belt on him before he climbs Everest, not after. Because if he climbs before, or if he wins the belt before he climbs Everest, and he dies up there, hey, at least it makes a good headline. AEW champion dies on Everest. We can talk about this because Darby knows he risks his life every day. So he can't, this is not offensive to talk like this about Darby possibly dying, because there's a very good chance he will not see 30. I don't know how old he is, but he ain't going to see, he might not see 50. So he's going to live wild and crazy, and he's going to out Jeff Hardy with the in-ring bumps and stuff. And then in his real life, I know Jeff Hardy liked to do some dirt bikes and stuff. Darby's like, no, how about I just climb Mount Everest and get ran over by buses? And he wants to jump 90 school buses or something at a pay-per-view. He's just crazy. So I would have him beat Moxley before he does Everest, and that would probably make it Revolution. So we will see if that happens or not. And Revolution is kind of a special show for Darby. Last year, or this past year's Revolution was absolutely wild. I still have my YouTube short up reacting to his bump through the glass. Man, oh man, crazy stuff. So anyway, 4-way is set for World's End for Moxley. We also had some Continental Classic matches. Will Ospreay with that crazy 1994 haircut defeating Claudio Castagnoli in the Gold League. We had Ricochet defeating Brody King, also in the Gold League. And we had Adam Cole defeating Kyle O'Reilly in that one-on-one match to determine who is going to face MJF at World's End. So it will, in fact, be Adam Cole. That match is now added to World's End as well. And then in the main event of Dynamite, this was great. Mariah May, taking on Marina Shirakawa. This was for the title. Mariah May gets the win, and after the match, we saw the return of the original Toni Storm. The original gimmick. She comes out with the music, the red, the hat, the thing on her eye. She looked great, but a lot of fans were surprised that there is no more timeless Toni Storm. That's kind of a bummer. I was really into the timeless Toni Storm gimmick, but I also heard a lot of fans talking about how you can also only go so far with that gimmick also. So I am not too disappointed that she is back to her old gimmick here, because she can be a little bit more herself. And you can always dust off timeless Toni Storm every now and then. She can pull a full Mick Foley here. Every now and then we would see Cactus Jack. Every now and then we would see Mankind. Every now and then we would see Dude Love. So if she busts out timeless Toni Storm, imagine if she's regular Toni Storm here for another 2 years, and then she busts out the timeless gimmick at, I don't know, it All In 2 years or something. I don't know, and brings it back and the fans go nuts. That's what it's all about, changing things up. So I'm not too freaked out about her being back to the old gimmick. I think the previous one was amazingly over, but Toni Storm's a great women's wrestler. She's not a wrestler that's just like all gimmick, because she was great in that gimmick. She can talk, but I feel like she's the most well-rounded of all of the women on the roster. She is their Charlotte. She should be presented and booked that way, because I think Toni Storm is the best one there. In the ring, on the mic, presentation, persona, everything. I think she does everything better than every other woman there. Yeah, I stand by that. I do. There's a lot of good wrestlers there, Mariah May's fantastic. Mercedes Moné is there. Chris Statlander. Britt Baker is sometimes still floating around. Thunder Rosa, which I don't know why she was at ringside holding up those signs, but she was. And there's great women's wrestlers there. But when you want to check all your boxes, to me, Toni Storm checks more boxes than any other woman on that AEW roster. And I've said that since before she even became timeless Toni Storm. And I stand by that wholeheartedly. So she returned on Dynamite and closed the show. And then she got booked in her return match last night on Rampage against Harley Cameron. And for some reason, the whole fucking wrestling community shit their pants over this. Like, this is some travesty. I'm like, Toni Storm hasn't been gone for 2 years or anything. It's not like she's coming back after 10 years gone from the company. CM Punk returned on Rampage. Like, what the fuck? But I think fans' argument here is that Rampage is going away. It's about to be canceled. Yeah, it is. And why would you have a return match there? Because she returned on Dynamite. She closed the show, did she not? Wasn't she like the last thing we saw on Dynamite was her? So who gives a fuck if she has her next match on Rampage? I think what they're doing is kind of fast tracking her maybe to a title match, because not only was she booked on Rampage, she was booked on tonight on Collision. And is Collision currently over? If it is, if it's not, I might spoil this, but she does beat Shazza McKenzie on Collision tonight, which was taped. So she came back on Wednesday and then won a match on Friday and then won another match on Saturday. So that's 3 out of the last 4 days we've had Toni Storm on our television sets. Television sets, like it's the 50s. And then on Wednesday, she's going to be on Dynamite. Probably in a match. If not, in some sort of a segment, she will be featured in some way on Dynamite. So Tony Khan has no idea how to present his top stars. What the hell is he doing wrong here? Tony Khan can be dumb as hell sometimes. I'll be the first one to admit that, but this is not an issue to me. She came back on Wednesday, won 2 matches in back-to-back days over the weekend, and will be heavily featured on Wednesday again, which is their A show. I think the fans are like, her match should have been on Dynamite. I'm like, well, then she would have returned on Rampage. So what you're saying is she should have returned on Dynamite and then had her first match back on Dynamite the next week and forget about Rampage and Collision. Okay, but I think you need real problems if that's something that bothers you. Who gives a fuck? The fact that this is a topic of conversation, we're debating this. There's like discourse and arguing going on social media over this. Of all of the problems that AEW currently faces, a lot of their issues, booking issues, this is not one of them. This is just not one of them. I think that Toni Storm came back and then they immediately said, here, if anything, they're shoving her down our throats. They've given us 3 consecutive TV shows of Toni Storm. Sometimes talent goes weeks at a time without seeing matches. Now it's Toni Storm, Toni Storm, Toni Storm. She's going to get a match on every show. It's the opposite of not using her right. So anyway, it's just more of this shit. Because I think what's happening is that the overwhelming just kind of attitude right now is Tony Khan bad. So if something, any minor questionable, even if it's just questionable, not necessarily bad, even if it's something that you question, I wonder why they did that. You're immediately going to process that into negative. It's Tony Khan, he's stupid. I just think that AEW's got a ton of like issues that they're facing right now, and Toni Storm's return is not even close to one of them. So that was all just silly as shit. Who cares? She's back. It's cool to see her back. And we'll see, how this, if it's actually going to be a World's End match against Mariah May. Are they going to do it that quick? Or is Mariah going to duck her for a while? And then they wait until Revolution to do the match. You could do that. But Toni Storm, you'd feel like would be earned a rematch pretty quick. And it's going to be hard for Mariah May to wiggle out of that for too long. Also, they got a beginning of the year show too, right? There's something going on January 1st, I think, right? That might be the Wednesday. Yeah, because I think January 1st is a Wednesday this year. So there's a big Dynamite on that January 1st show. Plus we have World's End a couple days before, and then we'll build to Revolution in, I guess, in February. But if anything, they're shoving Toni Storm right in our face. And she beat Harley Cameron on Rampage last night. Deonna Purrazzo beat Shazza McKenzie, and Matt Cardona beat Brian Keith with Jericho on commentary. And in an interesting tag match, Big Mark Davis and Powerhouse Hobbs defeated Lance Archer and Konosuke Takeshita. And after the match, Hobbs put down Takeshita and stood over him with the International Championship. So I would love to see Powerhouse Hobbs win that title because I'm a big fan of his. Tonight on Collision, we saw, I hope it hasn't aired yet. I think it has. I think it's over. We saw Willow Nightingale defeating Jamie Hayter. Julia Hart returns tonight. Okada defeated the Beast Mortos in a Blue League match. Toni Storm over Shazza McKenzie, like I mentioned. Leo Rush and Action Andretti defeated Top Flight. Statlander over Tootie Lynn. Orange Cassidy, the Outriders, Commander, and Daniel Garcia defeated the M&M Collection. Daivari, Josh Woods, and Tony Nese. And Mark Briscoe defeated Kyle Fletcher. That's interesting. I'd like to see that match. All I did is write down the spoilers here. But did he win that clean? Did Mark Briscoe beat Fletcher clean? You guys let me know in the chat there. And that is a Blue League match. So here's where we're standing with the Continental Classic. In the Gold League, it's Ospreay, Ricochet, and Claudio all tied at 6. In the Blue League, Kyle Fletcher leads the way with 9. Garcia and Okada have 4, and Briscoe and Shelton have 3, although Briscoe's probably has gone up because he had a big win over Kyle Fletcher, apparently. For World's End, it's going to be Moxley defending the title in the 4-way. We've got MJF versus Adam Cole. We're going to have the finals of the Continental Classic, and we're probably going to have, what do you think, Mariah May versus Toni Storm. and Powerhouse Hobbs versus Takeshita, perhaps. And I don't know what else. Maybe a tag match, Mercedes Moné match, possibly as well. We could see. World's End is looking not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. So, right on. That's pretty much the end of my notes, which is good because it's been a long stream. Let me go back to the chat. Yeah, not dying is pretty important. Yeah, it's usually right up there, top of my priorities, man. No, Julie Hart is not related to the Harts. Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, Rampage was a much different show when Punk debuted because they had that great, like, was it the Kenny Omega and Christian match? You know, Rampage used to matter back in the day, but Tony Storm isn't coming back. You know, you said Rampage isn't the third tier show. Yeah, it's not. And Tony Storm isn't coming back after 8 years off. It's not been that long since we've seen her. And she's had a long run with both. She's had time in the company under both gimmicks. It's not like we've never seen regular Tony Storm in AEW before, where Punk in AEW was a completely different thing. So Rampage was different, but so was the wrestler. Punk and Tony Storm are completely different things. If you want a better example, back in the day, Stone Cold Steve Austin wrestled D'Lo Brown on Sunday Night Heat. An hour-long show. Nobody fucking watches. That's taped. So it was maybe I agree with, if it was me, I might have just booked the match on Dynamite and not Rampage. I just don't think any harm was done, you know? Is Tony Storm's career over now because she had to wrestle on Rampage? Who gives a shit, man? Like, who gives a fuck? Like, none of this should even be close to mattering. So I feel like with all of the problems AEW has, the last thing the fans need to do is nitpick. You can nitpick when shit's going right. When things are going well, then you want to do your nitpicking. But when everything, you know, when AEW just seems to really need to find a good direction to go in, that's my main thing, you know, is just making the most sense with what they're doing. And Tony Storm is always going to be over and beloved. She's a great wrestler. Her wrestling on Rampage is going to have no effect whatsoever on her overall career, trajectory, or anything like that. She's one of the ones that's going to be fine just kind of on her own. But AEW kind of pulling the machine together as a whole, you know, where WWE has gone through periods of complete shit, but they've also gone through periods of where they've got that well-oiled machine type of feel to them. And they're kind of rolling a little bit like that now. And AEW desperately needs to find that, you know. And I think back in the Attitude Era too, when WWE was really riding high, I think it was enjoyable for everyone. You liked to go to work. You couldn't wait to go and just write the show and start producing it because everybody was just riding high. And when things aren't going that well, that's when, you know, your creative juices, you know, maybe slow down, your passion, you know, falters a bit and stuff. And I don't want to see AEW fall into that funk. Let's hope they can crawl out of the fucking darkness here and find something that can just get the fans excited about them again, because it's been a while. They desperately need that. So anyway, yes, Gilbert, thank you for the reminder. Lions and Bills tomorrow. By the way, speaking of tomorrow, Sunday is usually our classic watch-along day. We will not be here tomorrow. I have got my family dinner planned tomorrow evening, so I'm going to be hanging out with family. We're going to miss a watch-along, and I'm working on Monday night. I'm just working balls to the wall until I get to Christmas Eve. So there's just a lot going on, and I'm just working. So Monday night, I have to work. So there will be no Raw watch-along either. As of right now, I think I'm free on Tuesday. So maybe we can do a short podcast or a mic drop, or maybe I can pop up here for a live stream. But I might also be working on Tuesday as well. That might change. So this week is just going to be a little bit busy, but this will not be the last time you see me until Christmas. I will definitely be up here in some form. Check the channel for shorts. I'll pop in here if any crazy news breaks. And if I am off on Tuesday, I will plan to do some sort of a live stream that night. So just keep that in mind. And thank you very much for hanging out with us tonight. This was a fun one. Fun to kick back and watch Saturday night's main event and to stick around and do a long podcast and talk about wrestling news and stuff. Kind of a different take on the Winged Eagle podcast for tonight. But thank you again to everyone. Let me just scroll up, making sure I'm not missing any other super chats or anything like that. I think I got all of them. Anybody that I missed, I think I missed one from Mike earlier. He was like, yo, you missed my chat. I'll try to catch up on those on the next one, but I think we got them all. How about an NXT stream, Juliet? I don't know. I don't know. And yeah, we'll dust off the old Greg Balls of Fire. We got to do a midweek podcast here. And if I am home on Tuesday night, right now it's currently up in the air, but as of right now I'm off. I will come up and we'll talk maybe about Monday Night Raw, because we might see some things go down, fallout from Saturday night's main event. So yeah. Anyway, you guys have a great rest of your night tonight. Have a great tomorrow on Sunday. Sorry we're not here for the watch along. I wish you an excellent weekend, and I hope to be talking to you guys real soon. Have a good one. Peace.